Fancy on a Tuesday. It's a Fast Line on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Jamie's got kind of an interesting setup if you go to the Air Alliance YouTube channel at 101 ESPN STL. He's in his hotel in Toronto, but it's almost like he's hosting a podcast of friends. And I'm expecting you at some point to just be doing this with a whiskey glass.
He should. He got a
with the
microphone
whiskey
there.
rocks. Yes.
Unfortunately, it's water right now,
water.
Anthony. But
So tell me about the time. Tell me about the time, guys, that you felt most empowered. Like, doesn't it look like that, Carey?
It does. He looks like he's very relaxed.
You look like
on
one
a couch.
Suave mother.
Yeah, just chilling.
Guys, this traveling around with pro teams isn't a bad gig. I'm not going to lie to you at all. They give us hotel rooms with, like, these big couches and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, why not?
Set up for comfort today, boys.
Yeah, I would say so. So Jamie's with us for the first hour of the show. We're off a little early tonight.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, Carey
That is a...
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Carey just...
You're welcome.
Oh, man.
Carey just returned from the bathroom and saw that his meal was right in front of him.
Yes, right there. I was ready to roll.
Yep.
That's
you
awesome.
go to the
Good
bathroom, you
news.
kind of hope.
That
But
the
you don't
food
really
is there
think,
when you come back.
You don't really think about, and then there it is.
It's there.
It's one of the best
You're
feelings in
ready
the
to roll.
world.
I like it.
Carey just received that. So yeah, 5 o'clock pregame tonight as the Blues take on the Maple Leafs. The Red Hot Blues, who have had a lot of success against Toronto in previous meetings. Jamie, next two games, you got Maple Leafs, you got Oilers. Will this tell us all we need to know about this rendition of the Blues?
Well, I don't know. I mean, every game's a different test. And I think that the Toronto Maple Leafs and Edmonton Oilers have high-powered offenses. So, yeah, will you be tested as far as, like, your defensive structure and things like that? Yeah, absolutely. But you also played teams like the Vancouver Canucks and other teams that were, highly powered teams, really good hockey clubs that you had to be, ready for and ready to go. And you had to make sure your defensive structure was in place, just like we're talking about. So I think for me, every game right now is a test for the Blues. And it's not like it's going to tell us everything we need to know. Like right now, guys, this is a playoff team. It is. And so the biggest thing for the Blues is they just can't go into a 2 or 3 game losing skid. You will lose games. I mean, I know we like winning a lot, but you will lose games. And when it happens, you just have to cauterize it immediately. You lose one, you regroup, you get back at it, and you're ready to go for the next one. But it's certainly going to be interesting to see what it looks like tonight because the Leafs have a ton of firepower, and then we're still sitting here in limbo as to what Morgan Riley's going to receive for a suspension. I know he won't be playing tonight, but, how lengthy will it be? And then what will their defensive core look like?
Right.
So a lot of things that are lining up pretty cool.
Well, Jamie, you said the Blues are a playoff team. Yesterday at 3:23, we wrote it down. Anthony Stalter said they are a Stanley Cup final team. At 3:23, we wrote it down. He said it, and then we had a texter, a call-in, said Ed said the same thing. So they are in agreement. Are you on that page with Anthony and our caller from yesterday, Ed?
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
Let's go, baby.
I wish I could. You need a pair of these. You and both of you guys. There you go.
Yeah. No, you can keep those.
Settle down there, Mr. Steelers. My goodness.
So, Jamie.
He's ready to go the distance with Kenny Pickett right now.
You better
Slow down,
believe it.
Carey.
Yeah. We're on our way. Arthur Smith.
You guys talking about?
My goodness.
So, Jamie, what I did say was that this trade deadline, it reminds me of the 2019 trade deadline in terms of how Doug Armstrong is going to approach it. That was the year that he said, they got on a bit of a roll. I'm going to play this thing out. There's really no deal to be made. He made the one move, I think, for Michael Del Zotto and said, we're going to let the chips fall where they may. It reminds me of the 2019 trade deadline. Now, what Carey heard was me say that this is 2019 all over again.
What did you write down at 3:23 yesterday?
I wrote down that Anthony said that this team is exactly like the 2019 Stanley Cup champions.
There you go.
Exactly.
We both heard it.
Exactly.
Jamie, I'm only...
I kind of heard the same thing, Anthony.
There you go.
I mean, whenever you directly correlate anything to 2019, I mean, if it doesn't end up with a ring, I mean, I'm wrong, right?
What are we doing?
I'm only responsible for what I say, not for what you people hear. So
He said that Jamie Rivers will be in the parade, having a great time.
Shirtless.
Because this team, shirtless.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Ham sauced. In a thong. In a thong. Absolutely.
Can you imagine that sight? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Well, at that point, I don't think people would mind.
Yeah.
It would be the summer. It'd be in June.
That's true.
Somewhat expected.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Jamie, you're synonymous now with the thong during the Speedo during celebration. So
Built for speed, Anthony.
Yeah,
that's what they call it.
Built for speed is right. Yeah. Torrey Krug had 5 assists Sunday as the Blues defeated the Canadiens 7-2. Krug's 5 assists and points were the most in a game by a defenseman in Blues history. One off, Jamie, or
How you like me now, Anthony?
Are you seeing some momentum being created for Torrey Krug?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we talked about it, was it yesterday? We talked about just his progression as an all-around defenseman, and things weren't clicking early on for not just Torrey Krug, but the power play. And when you're a power play specialist, or that's kind of how you've made your money in the NHL, by being a power play guy, if the power play stinks, then it definitely affects you as a player. Mm-hmm. But what I liked about Torrey Krug is he just said, that's fine. I'm just going to play harder defensively. I'm going to be able to kill penalties. I'm going to play physical. I'm going to compete every night. And is it always perfect? No, it isn't. But at least you can tell that he cares. And so for me, this is now a product of his hard work. And it's a product of the other guys too. So 5 assists when you're a guy that passes the puck, somebody has to score. I mean, that's just the way it is. So now you're getting guys that are finishing as well. So I like the direction that Torrey Krug is headed in. I like the direction that the Blues are headed in. And I love the direction that the power play is headed in.
Jamie, the Blues sit at second in the wild card standing. They are only 3 points behind Edmonton for the 3rd seed. Do you see them? Well, I'm sorry. Where am I at? Wrong. They are close enough to getting a 3 seed. Do you see them making a push to get a 3 seed or even a 2 seed?
Well, look, obviously they want to win every single game. You talk to this group right now, and they believe they can compete in every single game. And it's going to be a bit of a treacherous schedule coming up here. You're playing some tough teams, some good offensive teams, some absolute playoff teams. So the gimmies aren't necessarily going to be here in the next little bit for the Blues. So you have no choice but to go into every game anticipating that you're going to win or compete in that game. And I don't know. I don't think this group is looking like, hey, we need to catch 3 or hey, we need to catch 2. I think they're looking at it as, let's just go win the game that's in front of us right now. And I think, honestly, that's the best mentality, because you know this, Carey. You start looking beyond teams or you start looking down the road, and all of a sudden the wheels start to fall off. And the teams that are successful are the ones that can focus on what the task is that lies directly ahead of them, worry about that, strategize for that, compete in that game, and then following that game, move on to the next one. The old Bill Belichick, we're on to Cincinnati. Got to have that mentality.
Jamie, what did you think of the Morgan Riley 5-minute major? He's gonna have an in-person meeting with the NHL.
So here's the thing: is I think it was a stupid play by Morgan Riley.
Yeah,
I do. I mean, the guy goes in and takes a slap shot into your open net. What's the difference if he comes in and one-hands it? What's the difference if he does a backflip and then puts it in? It doesn't matter. It only counts for 1 goal. For me, you've always got to look at the bigger picture. And Morgan Riley's your best defenseman. He plays between 22 and 25 minutes a night, sometimes even higher, depending on if it's overtime and things like that. So you've lost that guy now. And Morgan Riley is not scaring anybody, like, ever. So what are you even doing? And if you really want to send a message at that point, just as soon as the guy takes that slap shot in that, drop your gloves and stick and skate after him. What's the worst that's going to happen then? You're going to get a 5-minute for fighting, thrown out of the game. There's no chance of a suspension. There's no chance of a fine at that time. The game's already over, so you haven't hurt your team any more than what has already happened.
Sure.
So I thought it was a buffoon move. I really did. And I know people are like, oh, old school, hey, the code, schmode. Okay, you have bigger things that lie ahead of you right now. Honestly, the code hasn't been there since 1995 or 96. Like, give me a freaking break, guys. Like, holy crap. Let's focus here. And even then, like, it would have been like, okay, note to self, next time we play.
Yeah.
Like, we have bigger things to worry about. If you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, you've been in the postseason 7 times here in the last 7 years and won 1 series. 1. What are you worried about Ridley Gregg for? To slap shot into an open net? Like, my God.
Right.
So I thought it was dumb. I think he should suffer the consequences of the 5 or 6 games.
Starting
and
tonight.
Learn from it. Yeah.
Yep. 212, your time check is brought to you by Collection Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. So the Blues will be in Toronto tonight. 6 o'clock puck drop, 5 o'clock pregame right here on your home of the Blues, the Blues Radio Network on 101 ESPN. Jamie will also have his 16 or so keys to victory.
I like 66. That was a good number for us.
Yeah, 66, good
Getting
number.
closer.
And the first goal of the game, that'll happen at the last segment in the first hour here. Again, we're off a little earlier today. That means we got an early What's Trending coming for you next on 101 ESPN.
Pure Performance, your one-stop shop for all aftermarket accessories. They are absolutely the best in the business at what they do, and I believe that their showroom is the largest around. It's 25,000 square feet. It's located in St. Peters, right off of Highway 70, easy to get to, and it doesn't matter what kind of vehicle you have. So if you have a brand new vehicle, don't worry. Pure Performance has got you taken care of. If you have an older vehicle, maybe it's 2, 3, 4, even 10 years old, and you want to accessorize it, you want to change it up a little bit, Pure Performance is the best at what they do. Head in there, and when you get in there, please ask for Shelby. She's the sheriff over there, and tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in. She's going to ask you what you're trying to do, and then whatever vehicle it is, whether it's a SUV, a pickup truck, a Jeep, a Bronco, they take care of everything for you. And they ask you what your budget is. They never ask you to go beyond your budget or anything like that. And if while your vehicle's in there, you need anything else done, they've got you. It's a full-service garage, and they are absolutely unbelievable at taking care of everything, whether it's oil changes, tune-ups, tires, rims, lift kits, level kits, light kits, you name it. Pure Performance is there for you. So please, again, stop by that awesome showroom. But if you can't get there in person, please get there online. Visit them at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
Time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Time for What's Trending here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers live from Toronto. Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with What's Trending.
Guys, it looks like the Mets are going for a sustainable competitiveness now, whatever that means. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, so
They tried the other way and it didn't work.
exactly. Exactly. So they are changing things up now. They have a new president of baseball operations that is taking them in a different direction. So David Stearns, who used to be with Milwaukee, he has taken the Mets in more of a, we're going to long play this thing, okay? I realize, Stephen Cohen, you've got a lot of money. I'm not saying we won't dip into that at some point, but we have to set up a baseline here so that we can sustain success moving forward. If you want to throw your money around for a big time free agent when the time is right, great. We'll go down that route. But for now, we need to change how we're approaching business here because you can't win the Wild Wild West. It doesn't work.
Wouldn't you rather be the president of baseball operations for an owner that's willing to throw money around as opposed to one that is not?
Certainly. So there's two different schools of thought here, though. So like Dave Dombrowski, for example, he goes to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia's owner says, I want to spend my money stupidly. And Dave Dombrowski goes, I got no problem with that. Dave Dombrowski has never been the guy. He's the guy that built the Tigers when they went to the 2 World Series, lost to the Cardinals, lost to the Giants. He was the one that built the Tigers by making moves like the one for Miguel Cabrera. Give me the proven talent. I don't care about the prospects, but then he ruins the farm system a lot of times for who he's. Yeah. So that's not necessarily sustainable. But you get a guy like Dombrowski, he can spend an owner's money, no problem. But is it sustainable? So I read this article in Newsday, and I thought to myself, this sounds like the Cardinals, because the Cardinals have this approach. They have had this approach under John Mozeliak. We are going to take the long view of things. I don't think he'll admit it, but the division sucks. He knows the division stinks. He can do just enough. He can keep his prospects. He doesn't have to make too many big-time moves. If something like Arenado comes about and the president of the Rockies is hammered, and Mo can call him and do a deal like he did, great. But if not, he's not going to overstep, especially not now after he screwed up the Marcell Ozuna trade and the Randy Arozarena trade. This reminds me a lot of the Cardinals, though. This is like the model for a lot of teams. But it also leads to a frustrated fan base when you don't produce. I don't care what your model is. You got to produce.
So here's my thoughts on it is the Mets went the other way. They went crazy, like just going to spend money like it's on fire, and it didn't work. We all know it didn't work. And now, for Cardinals fans who, Anthony, to your point, hate hearing certain things, I'm about to say something that they're going to hate.
Oh, boy.
But hear me out. The Mets are taking a page right out of the Cardinals book, like you said. Why are they doing that? Because it's a successful, sustainable model.
Yeah.
Blech, right? Everybody just threw up right now. You're driving around. I'm sorry about the cleanup in your front seat right now. Apologize for that.
It's going to stink for a little bit. Roll down the windows.
Yeah, you'll be just fine. Tell the Uber you'll pay for it. But I've been down that road. Now, just saying. Now, the difference between the Mets and the Cardinals is that if the Mets are sticking to this sustainable model, but then they have a chance to hit the nitrous oxide button.
They will.
And I think that's the difference is, one, they have the ability, and two, they will. Cardinals, certainly and the Cardinals organization have the ability as well. Not quite the same ability as the Mets, that's for sure. Nobody really does. But they won't do it. That's the difference.
Right. No, you're right. So you're supposed to have the best of both worlds. Keim Bloom is now with the Cardinals as, consultant, advisor, whatever his role is. But when he was hired by the Red Sox, the thought was, we'll take Tampa Bay's model, which has proven to work, but also have the ownership group with the financial means to hand out some money when it's appropriate. And it
How'd that work?
Did not work well. The two things did not mix well for whatever reason. Kyle Bloom did completely overhaul Boston's farm system.
Oh, he sure did.
But
he's not
he
there
also traded
to see the fruits of his labor, though.
He's not. And everybody just remembers the fact that he gave up Mookie Betts for Alex Verdugo, who's now a Yankee. Like, it didn't work there. But the idea of David Stearns, who came from Cleveland, Houston, and then most recently Milwaukee for 8 years, the idea is we can build this thing the right way and then also sprinkle in some of your money when the time is right. This is exactly what Boston tried. It didn't work for them. I don't know if it's going to work for the Mets, but again, the idea is there.
I think we do have to put into consideration the division. We talk a lot about the Cardinals being in a soft division.
A terrible division.
Okay,
a garbage division.
Okay, all right. Any other?
Those are harsh words.
You got
in any given year, only two teams are trying in that division.
Just a division.
It's horrible.
Okay.
Okay, we get it.
The worst division in baseball.
Okay, we get it. God.
What I'm saying is when you are the Mets and you are in the division with the Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies and the Miami Marlins, who all made the playoffs, your strategy, they tried the strategy of spending a lot of money and like, you know what, the hell with this. We got to trade some guys, get these guys off the books, let's reset. And they said they were going to try again in 2025. Maybe they figured that might be a little too long, so we're going to go in this way. But I wonder how hard is it when you are in a division with teams like superstars that the Braves have, that the Phillies have, to compete and try to excel and succeed in that division when you have such great teams.
Can I ask you a question then? So the Cardinals being in the Central, okay, they're not in that division. They don't have to do as much and win it. However, one of my biggest frustrations, in fact, the biggest frustration I have, is them not looking beyond that. Why wouldn't the Cardinals?
I agree.
Change their approach because they're going to have to face these teams anyways. I get the idea of winning the division, getting in. You got to get in before you can win it all that. But why would the Mets and Cardinals have two different approaches, even though they're in different divisions? You're still ultimately trying to win a pennant and then a World Series, and you have to face these teams down the road anyways. So why would you have the approach of let's just win the Central? You know you're going to be short when it's all said and done, unless you catch enough breaks along the way.
You never know, Anthony.
Well,
here's 2006, 2011.
Right. Here's the thing, Anthony. You just got to get in. That's all you got to do. Once you get in, anything is possible, okay? That's all we try to do. We get into this. We get in. We get in.
He's been breaking these things out a lot.
You can win. I don't understand why you don't understand. This is a division. We win it. We get in. And then the possibilities of winning it all are endless. Just get in.
Anthony, once you get it in there, you just never know what can happen.
There you go.
You just never know.
You can win once you get in.
Yeah, I think we know.
Exactly.
It's fascinating on 101 ESPN. Does Torrey Krug look like a completely different player? We'll get Jamie's thoughts on that.
He's got the same haircut.
As well as the third place in the Central Division. That was something that some of us talked about. It could be a reality. Didn't Army say that? Third place in the Central, right? That's what he said.
He almost guaranteed it.
Well, it's still obtainable. Attainable for the Blues. We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
Are you currently thinking about remodeling your bathroom or maybe your kitchen, but you don't know where to begin? Or maybe you do know exactly what you're trying to do, and you have a plan that you want to execute properly. That's why you need to visit my friends down at E&B Granite. They are the best in the business. I went through a complete kitchen remodel, and they were incredible to deal with. Just head down to their location right there on Manchester Avenue. Walk in. Please tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in, and then tell them what you're looking to do. The sales representative is going to sit down with you, going to show you all the options that they have available, whether it's cupboards or flooring or your countertops, whatever it is. And then the best part about E&B is they have all the countertops in the back. So you can walk around and take a look, and you get to see exactly what it looks like in the proper form, not one little sample size. And then the technicians get into your home, and they rip out everything that's old, and they do it fantastic. They leave no mess at all. And then the installation is absolutely smooth. You're going to love it. And the way it looks after, you're just going to thank me every time you see me. So please, get down there and visit them, or at least nothing else, get there and visit them online at enbgranite.com. Fellas, listen up here for a second. Are you currently using any kind of ED med? If you are, nobody cares. I don't care. All anybody cares about is that you're ready for the big game, right? You know exactly what I'm saying. But I do care about you spending too much money on it. The little blue pill, the gummy things, don't do it, man. Get over to the medicine shop in St. Charles. They are your destination for cheap ED meds. They have the generic called sildenafil. It's less than $2 a pill. Prescription is required, of course, but they've got you covered over there. And that's not the only way they take care of you. They've got free discreet shipping and delivery to your home of any medicines that you take on a regular basis. And if you're like me, you're out of town, you're busy, the kids have a crazy schedule, and you just can't get to the pharmacy, don't worry. The medicine shop, they bring the pharmacy to you. And it's an amazing service that I hope everyone takes advantage of. And please stop by and visit the pharmacy any chance you can. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love hearing that. They're the best in the business. They're my friends. They're part of my family now. That's the medicine shop in St. Charles. Visit them, please, at stcharles.pharmacy. That's stcharles.pharmacy.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues are back in action tonight, taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pregame starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We'll speak with Joe Vitale at 4:30. Once again, early pregame, early puck drop tonight, Blues and Maple Leafs right here on 101 ESPN. We're going to dive back into the Blues with Jamie, who is up in Toronto. That's coming your way next in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Fastline on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. The Blues, the way that they have played of late, gets us thinking about something that Doug Armstrong said his goal was coming into the year, which was third place in the Central Division. Well, it didn't seem like it was that realistic about a month and a half ago. Carey, you had mentioned this, though, in the segment that we did on the Blues to start the show. It's not all that unreasonable to think that the Blues could catch the Oilers, who are currently the team now, the Jets, who are currently in the Central, the third in the Central. So, Jamie, you watch this team night in, night out. You've seen every game. You've seen the changes that they made. You've seen the changes and the success and the results they've had with the power play. Certain guys like Torrey Krug turning around his game. Do you think third place is that out of reach? You do. Okay. I heard it in your voice.
Well,
all right.
Well, no. But listen, Anthony, it's a 9-point gap between Winnipeg and St. Louis right now.
Ain't no hill for a climber. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Anthony, well said. You're always so well spoken. But when I look at it, Winnipeg's had a hell of a season. So we're expecting we're hoping two things happen. That all of a sudden they decide to play terrible for an extended period of time, and your team catches absolute fire, to which you've won 7 out of your last 8. So I would consider that your team has caught fire here a little bit. So again, I just don't think this team can be worried about trying to catch the Winnipeg Jets. Just win every game that's in front of you and focus on that. And here's a couple interesting numbers for you that our guy JR, Jeremy Rutherford of The Athletic, he posted this on X yesterday. I started calling it just X.
Nice job. Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just decided I'm tired of double talking about it.
That's fine.
I don't have time in my day to say both. So I'm tired of saying Twitter or /X or X/Twitter. You know what I'm saying, right?
Good for you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I feel like you're not wasting any time even explaining this. Get your thought process on it. Nice job, Jamie. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's where we're going to speed it up. So from now on, I'm just going to call it X.
Fair.
Okay. So JR on X, the website, of course.
Previously Twitter.
I couldn't help myself. He had stats of the Blues since January 20th. And their goals per game is 3.63. That ties them for second in the NHL. Goals against per game, 2. That's the third fewest in the NHL. 5-on-5 goals for 14. 5-on-5 goals against 12. Now, that's the area that they could use some improving on is 5-on-5 scoring. Their power play, 37.5%, which puts them second in the NHL since that time. And their penalty kill, 90%, which ties them for 7th since January 20th. Anthony, what have I always said? Of course, I stole it from a guy named Scotty Bowman who knows a little bit about hockey. But what have I always said about your league ranking for your power play and your league ranking for your penalty kill?
If those two things combine to equal 10 or less, you're a playoff team.
Yeah, you're a contender. And I know that's a stretch right now because it's just been since January 20th. But you have to look at the difference that's happened in this team since the coaching change as well. Like, you go back there, you can pull numbers on that too. Since Drew Bannister's taken over, this team is, I believe they've been 6th or 7th in the NHL in power play percentage. So you're winning a lot of games. My point is that right now, the way the Blues, let's try that one again, are currently playing, this is a playoff team. Now, whether you catch the Winnipeg Jets or whether you don't, it doesn't matter. John Kelly and I were talking about this last night at dinner, and this is a team that I don't think anybody wants to play in the first round. You don't. Even the Vancouver Canucks, you've won 2 out of 3 against the Vancouver Canucks this year. You know, who knows with the Oilers? We'll see what happens here on Thursday. That's a whole brand new Oilers team. They've been on fire too. But if you look at it across the top teams, you're 2-0-1 against the Dallas Stars. So you fear no one. And if you have a guy named Jordan Binnington that's between the pipes who can win you a series outright, I don't know, man. I'm not saying that this team is anywhere near ready yet to start, mapping out the parade route. But I think it's a playoff team, and I think it's a team that nobody really wants to play in the first round.
Well, you and Anthony clearly disagree there.
Okay.
Jamie, he thinks they're going to win. 7 of the last 8 games.
At least he's positive right now.
Yeah,
Carey.
he should
That's a
put the
big
glasses
difference
on.
for
He
a guy,
just
you know?
pretends like he didn't say it.
New
though.
year, new
heard
you,
him.
Anthony.
We heard him say it.
Yeah.
How can
You
they?
guys are full of crap. There's your positivity.
Can they keep up this pace? Like, is this real? What we're seeing? We talked about it before the All-Star break, and which Blues team they were actually. Were they the team that went on 5 in a row, or were they the team that lost to Columbus before the break? Can they keep this pace?
Well, I'd love to see that. Now, again, talking to people just around the team in the last 4 or 5 days, if you can go 7-3 in 10-game increments, your team's going to be a rock star team. Mm-hmm. And right now, you've won 7 out of your last 8. So if you're fortunate enough here to split the last 2 games, let's say you win tonight and lose against the Oilers. Let's just say that happens. You end up 8-2 in that 10-game segment. You'll take that. And if that's the case, then this team's capable of winning 7 out of the next 10 games following that. And I think that has to be the standard. I think for this team, we talked about this before. I used to talk about 5-game segments. Make sure you're minimum 3-2 in those. Well, if that's the case, you end up 6-4 in a 10-game segment. You just got to squeak out another win somewhere. Mm-hmm. And that makes it 7-3. Very few teams put together 10-game segments that are that successful. So if you're able to do that, the biggest thing for the Blues right now is creating that distance between the teams that are right on your heels and yourselves. It's the Kings right now and the Blues in those first 2 wild card spots. Nashville's lingering around there. You've got 2 games in hand on them. So if you win those 2 games, boy, that creates a nice cushion. Calgary lost last night. Seattle lost last night. Tonight is a huge game for the Blues. You have to win tonight. If you win tonight, man, you put yourself in a really good spot to have that stumble. I don't want to talk about negativity, but you're going to have that speed bump or that stumble along the way. And it's easier to have those moments when you've got a 4 or 5 or 6 point cushion on the teams that are behind you, that are chasing you down because they want to get into the playoffs. So can they keep up this pace? Probably, but do they have to? Yeah, they absolutely have to try and keep this going.
Carey asked you this yesterday. I asked you this today, in different ways. We continue to get text about it, though. Following his 5-point performance the other night, does Krug look like a completely different player to you? Or does he look like somebody that the confidence has been restored? You've played at the highest level, Jamie. You know that confidence, as much as you don't want to admit it, can ebb and flow based on how you're playing, based on how the team is playing, based on if you're overthinking things. Do you see a different player in Krug, or do you just see somebody whose confidence has returned?
No, I see both. I see a different player, and because of a confidence thing. Look at how hard would it be for anybody in this world to be asked to leave their job or leave the city that they're working in the offseason. And he said, no, I don't want to. I don't want to go to Philadelphia or anywhere else at this point. I want to be a Blue. I want to come back and play. But that stings, man. That would hurt your pride in a big way. It would hurt mine. Anyways, I would feel like, oh, man, they don't want me. Rather than, hey, the Philadelphia Flyers or whomever wants me, I'd feel more like this team doesn't want me and they're the ones who signed me. So, but instead of kind of tucking his tail and just kind of going over and sitting in the corner, he puffed up, man. Mm-hmm. He said, screw this. I'm going to play. And when things weren't going his way offensively, for me, the biggest difference that has happened with Torrey Krug is he's proven that he can play in every situation. Is he a Norris Trophy defenseman as a defending guy, as a shutdown defenseman, or as a penalty kill guy? No. But what he's proven is he can play top 4 minutes in every situation. And for me, that's been the difference. That's where I think he got his confidence back. It wasn't, offensively or contributing on the power play, because we know the power play struggled, man. But for me, Torrey Krug got his confidence back by playing at a high level, competing, and just not giving up. And now he's reaping the rewards of that, and the power play's on fire. And I don't think there's a situation now where you're even looking to trade Torrey Krug. Like, we always talk about the replacement. Who's the replacement? And if someone says Scott Perunovich, you're kidding yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, you're kidding yourself. The kid can't stay healthy. He just can't. It's unfortunate, and I think he's a great player, and he's a hell of a kid. I like him a lot. But he can't stay healthy. So you want to go, hang your power play future on Scott Perunovich? Well, no, he only gives me 4, 5, 6 games at a time. Mm-hmm. So you don't have your replacement for Torrey Krug. And if that's the case, then you don't move on from that guy.
Jamie, here's a question. We got a bigger sample size now than when we asked this question before, but from the 314, do the Blues need to make the playoffs in order to remove the interim tag and give Drew Bannister a contract?
Oh, man. I think Drew Bannister has done a hell of a job, man. I really do. The circumstances that he came in under, maybe the most popular coach in all of Blues history, and that's saying a lot, based on the fact that Joel Quenneville was here, Scotty Bowman coached here, some notable people, Ken Hitchcock. I think Craig Berube is like a rock star to the people in St. Louis. So imagine coming in and trying to operate in the shadows of that. And he did. He came in and he did exactly what he said he was going to do, is tighten up certain areas and make this team more accountable. And he hasn't lied. And this team has played a completely different brand of hockey from a competitive standpoint day in and day out. This was a team that couldn't win a hockey game when they got down by 1 goal at the start of the season. And now they're battling back multiple times from not just 1 goal deficits, but multiple goal deficits and winning hockey games.
Yeah.
So I think Drew Bannister, if nothing else, if the Blues don't make the playoffs, I think Drew Bannister has put himself in a really good spot to remove their interim tag. If they make the playoffs, I think it's a foregone conclusion that he should be at least given the opportunity to be the head coach of the Blues full-time in the next couple of years.
With the Blues in Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs, what are Jamie's keys to victory? You'll hear it next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. You like what I did there? I know you did. Buckets, basketball, you guys get it. Well, FanDuel gets it. They always do, and they're always taking care of everybody, and they love taking care of their new customers. And right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Carey, that's $150 if your bet wins.
Yeah, Jamie, all you have to do is bet on your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and so much more. Anthony Davis over or under 11.5 rebounds tonight. LeBron James over or under 6.5 rebounds. Those are some pretty good bets there.
What do you like?
I like LeBron going over 6.5. I'm going to take it.
There you go.
There you go.
So you can follow Carey's pick there. Just visit FanDuel.com/fast. Again, FanDuel.com/fast and shoot your shot with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you currently in the market looking for car insurance or home insurance? And maybe you don't know where to start. It happens to everybody. Maybe you have a current provider, but you really have no idea what your policy looks like. This is exactly why you have to call Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. I was the same way. I met Tracy Bibb, and she asked me questions about my insurance policies, and guess what? I didn't have the answers. You know why I didn't have the answers? I didn't even know who to talk to. I had a 1-800 number that I would call and get somebody different every single time, and it felt like every question I asked, nobody really had the answer to. They transferred me to somebody new, and I had to start all over again. That has not happened once since I switched everything over to the bib agency. Tracy does a phenomenal job of making sure that you're kept up to date on everything, and when rates change or policies have adjustments, she's right there with an email or a phone call, and she treats you just like family over there at the bib agency. So please, don't hesitate. Give Tracy Bibb a call today for a free non-committal quote. That number is 314-352-4494. Again, that's 314-352-4494. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
Tonight at 5 o'clock, you can listen to the pregame show for the Blues and the Maple Leafs right here on 101 ESPN. We'll have the game for you, of course, on the Blues Radio Network. Puck drops at 6 o'clock as the Blues look to continue their hot streak. And Jamie's got some keys to victory tonight.
Yes, I do, Anthony. I appreciate you asking me for those keys. Look, you came out of the All-Star break here, and I believe a big key to your success, if you're the Blues, has been good starts to your game. The Buffalo game, it wasn't like you got out there and scored a whole bunch of goals, but you were good in the first period. And you follow that in Montreal. I mean, 25 seconds in, Toropchenko has a highlight reel goal. And we'll take that. I mean, sure, I'll take that tonight for sure if he's ready to do that again. But no, a good start for your team here. Keep this momentum going. There's a real feel-good mentality around this team right now. They had a couple of good practices, Super Bowl get-together, things like that go a long way. So get a good start here in Toronto. It's going to be a lot of pressure. A lot of guys are from in and around Toronto, a lot of Blues players. Be a lot of friends and family at the game, and it's always better to get in, have a good start, and get after it. So that's the first key. Second key, it follows right on the heels of that, is get pucks in deep. Get them in deep. Get to work. We know that Morgan Rielly won't be playing tonight for the Leafs. He's their best defenseman. He's their best zone exit defenseman, which means that when he gets the puck, he creates a breakout situation. He's gone. He gone. So get in and get on those guys. Put the pucks in. Mark Giordano, I think he's going to come back and play. He's been on the sidelines for a while. He's an older player. He's been injured. Get it in his corner. Test him. Get down low. Work the puck down low. I think that'll certainly create a lot of offense. And when you're down there, next key, pucks and bodies to the net. You've been successful here recently as a team because you've had bodies around the net. Yes, it's been on the power play, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Jake Neighbors has made an absolute season out of standing in the blue paint. Jordan Kyrou got rewarded twice the other night for being in and around the blue paint. So if you're the Blues, get pucks and bodies to the net. And also, the goaltending hasn't been sensational for the Leafs this year, which means get in there, create that chaos, make them feel uneasy. Hopefully you capitalize at that point. Keep the power play simple is another one too. I mean, they've got two plays that they've been using here recently, and it's just get it up high, drag the puck across the blue line, back to Robert Thomas, shoot the puck. You know what that is? They call that predictable. which is really easy for your teammates then, because you get to the front of that knowing, hey, here comes the puck, and they only have 2 guys, and we have 3 down here. Maybe we'll win a puck battle. And you have. You scored 3 power play goals last game against the Montreal Canadiens, and they had been killing penalties at a pretty good clip. So keep that simple, keep it predictable. And then big thing here, stay above the puck. All that means is make sure you have a high guy. Make sure you have that forward back, because the guys like Marner, Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, they're always looking to go. And if you don't stay above the puck, which means in front of that player with the puck, then you're going to be at a disadvantage, and those guys can create instant offense, and you don't want that to happen.
There you go. There's Jamie's keys to victory tonight for the Blues and the Maple Leafs. Time for the first goal of the game.
Let's go, boys.
We need you to score more goals.
Get those loose pucks.
Thomas to Carey. Score! Goal!
No big deal. Game winner.
All right, I think, Jamie, you still have honors. Marsh,
Really?
do you have the updated standings?
You guys suck.
I believe Jamie has. Well, first of all, there's been no games played since. There's been 2 games, but we, of course,
Appreciate it.
were not on the air when they played them. So
Okay, well said, Marcia. My bad.
You'll get what's
I
coming to
take
you.
it back, guys. Okay?
You'll get what's coming to you, Jamie.
So I believe Jamie has 3 points. Which one of you has 2? Carey has 2.
Carey does.
Stalter, me and you both have 1.
Number 1.
Rounding up the rear.
Yeah, you are.
Good job, fellas.
Good job, Anthony. Keep going.
Okay, you got 1 more than me, Carey. Jamie, who's your call?
Jake Neighbors, baby. Like a good neighbor, Jake is there.
Come on.
This kid has a nose for the net right now. 2 games in a row he scored goals. 2 in Buffalo. He had the Gordie Howe hat trick last game. Can't stop this kid right now. He's like a dog on the bone. Good luck getting him out of there.
That's who
Jake
I was going
Neighbors.
to go with, but you took my guy, so I'm going to have to go Bucci. Pavel Buchnevich. Yeah. Get on the board. Get him on the board.
Marsh?
Well, Jamie mentioned that there are some players from Toronto that might have family in town at the game. I'm going to go with Jordan Kyrou to score the first goal, as he is from Toronto, Canada.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to go with somebody that's also from Toronto, Canada. Braden Shen.
Oh, he's not from Toronto.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was or not. I just wanted to say it.
Just helping you out. He's from Saskatchewan.
Yeah. I don't care. I was going to go with him regardless, and I was going to say he's from
Really not close,
Toronto.
Carey?
Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's up there.
Canada.
Like saying St. Louis. It's close to Buffalo.
It's
Close-ish.
both in the U.S.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
Actually,
give me Braden Shen tonight to score the first goal. All right, Jamie, you have yourself a great call on Bally Sports Midwest, man. We'll see you
Boys.
tomorrow.
We'll see you. Yeah, we'll see you back in the studio tomorrow.
There you go. We miss Jamie. Jamie has not
Miss
been
you
in
guys,
the
too.
studio
it's been a
for
while.
weeks.
Yeah.
I know it's probably too hot in that damn studio.
No, it's perfect, actually.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's about to change. Baby.
Break out the parkas. All right, Jamie's got the coverage tonight, Bally Sports Midwest. We've got the coverage right here on 101 ESPN starting at 6 o'clock. Actually, starting at 5 o'clock, excuse me. For the pregame show, 6 o'clock is the puck drop in Toronto as the Blues take on the Maple Leafs. Carey and I got you covered for the rest of the show. Cardinals off-season additions versus subtractions. We've talked about the additions a lot. Haven't spent a lot of time about the subtractions this offseason. Are they really going to feel the absence of at least one of these players that they lost in the offseason? We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN.
Are you currently in the market of selling your home? Or maybe you have your home that is already on the market, but you haven't sold it yet. Maybe that's because you don't have the right agent. You need to call my friend, Gloria Liu, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And here's a couple reasons why. Well, one, she has a ton of experience, and Gloria knows exactly when to put your house on the market. And any question you have, maybe it's the time of the year, maybe it's spring, summer, you're not sure, all of these things, Gloria Liu, that's why she's there. She's the best. And she also knows exactly how to price your home. That's the one thing about selling your home right now in today's market. It has to be priced accordingly. So Gloria Liu will sit down with you and she will figure out the agreed upon sales price. And then what happens is she sells your home for that price, or she buys it herself, and she guarantees all of that in handwriting. And why is she so confident about that? Because she's got a database with thousands of buyers just ready to buy your home, creates a higher demand, and obviously more money for you when you close. And that's why you choose Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. So please give her a call at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the sales price and possession date. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, back with you here. We're joined by our good buddy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. And Stewie, there's always so many things that you know that we don't. And right now, there's something called a CPI report. Fill us in.
Jamie, the report came out this morning. Inflation is higher than expected. So we had good jobs growth. Unemployment numbers are looking strong. The economy's growing. And now inflation is not dropping back. These are all indices and things that are going to cause the Federal Reserve not to lower the interest rates. So mortgage rates are starting to climb. Why is this important? Because if you're going to buy a home or refinance, lock it in now, because if they keep going up, you're going to be paying more. If you're with us and you apply, we got you ready. If you don't want to lock it now, the minute it takes a dip, we grab it for you. So we watch it for you. Take the opportunity, lock the rate in now. 6 months from now, if rates go down, we can always refinance for free. This
is just part of the advice that you're going to get from Stewie. If you're in a different situation, whatever your situation is, in fact, what's keeping you up at night? What's the decision that you continue to not make because you don't have the understanding of what you're dealing with? Call Stewie. Tell him what's going on. Maybe you are looking to buy a house. You don't know if now's a good time. Maybe you're looking to refi. You don't know if it's a good time. You have questions about refinancing. You have questions about debt consolidation. Whatever it is, Stewie's there to help you. He gives out his personal cell phone number for a reason. He wants you to call, and he doesn't want you to sit on hold for 42 minutes before you actually talk to somebody. So give him a call or text, 314-324-4440. You can always Google the Bagel Loan, but call him now. Stewie, keep up the great work.
Have a great day, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We have discussed a lot about we've had a lot of discussions about the Cardinals offseason additions. Guys like Matt Carpenter and Kyle Gibson and Sonny Gray and Andrew Kittredge, who they acquired from the Rays. Lance Lynn, of course. Even Daniel Descalso, who joined the coaching staff. We've spent a lot of time talking about the additions. We haven't really talked too much, though, about the subtractions, the guys that they lost this offseason. That includes guys like Dakota Hudson and Andrew Kisner and Tyler O'Neill, Richie Palacios, who was dealt to the Rays for Andrew Kittredge in that deal, Andrew Suarez, Drew Verhagen, Wainwright, of course, retires, Jake Woodford, Juan Yepes, and then Guillermo Zuniga. Do you think out of the losses, Carey, the Cardinals will truly miss one of these players. And before you answer, what I'm talking about is
Out of the names you just named?
out of the names that I just named, the subtractions, the guys that they lost.
Did you name Jordan Montgomery, or you didn't count him?
I didn't count him because you traded him.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't an offseason. That wasn't an offseason loss.
Guys that finished the season.
Correct.
And are on to different teams. Or not on the team for 24.
Right.
Yep.
Let me throw one caveat at you. I'm not talking about Tyler O'Neill hitting a bunch of home runs for a bad Boston team. Mm-hmm. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an impactful loss. You feel this guy, his absence, you feel it. Kind of like Yadier Molina when he retired.
Right.
You felt his absence. Whether or not you agreed or disagreed with the handling of Willis Contreras, there's really nobody that can dispute the loss of Yadier Molina, not having him behind the plate. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an impactful loss out of any of these guys.
I mean, we joke around about Richie Palacios probably being really good. He was good here for the time, but when you're looking at all of these names, I don't know if there's a specific person that concerns you or worries you that was on the roster at the end of the year that will not be back or is not back right now in 24. Mm-hmm. I think there were some upgrades to the pitching staff. I know the expectation was higher than what the reality was once the season hit. So I think the pitching staff is better based on, guys that are no longer here. And I feel like for the most part, you have the majority of your core back in terms of guys that are playing prominent roles and position players in the field. Lars is back. Jordan Walker, Tommy Edman, Brendan Donovan will be back and be healthy. You got your corner infielders in Goldie and Arenado. I don't think that there's much. I don't think there was enough of a person that did enough last year to say, oh, we're really going to miss that guy and wish we had him here right now. And maybe there are some guys that, like I said, Richie Palacios may be a guy that surprises some people, but that's probably the only name off the top of my head that I can think of.
That you're really concerned about.
Yeah.
Since you said we can't include Jordan Montgomery or Jordan Hicks, I think out of the guys that have left, maybe Adam Wainwright from a leadership standpoint, not an on-field standpoint based on how things went last season. Other than that, I can't think of anybody that really stands out where I'm like, oh, man, I really wish we had that guy back, because I feel like they got rid of, I'll call it maybe dead weight. Would you call it that?
Or some depth. Some depth that you can replace.
Was it depth, though? I mean,
yeah, like technically Dakota Hudson would be considered depth. He's somebody that could make starts for you, but I'm not losing sleep over Dakota Hudson or Jake Woodford. I know who they are.
Actually gaining sleep from them.
Dakota Hudson's one of those guys that I know Randy Carricker in the mornings, Carey, used to say this to you a lot. It's like, hey, don't watch him pitch. Just look at the final line. Yeah, look at the outcome, because he's probably going to keep you in the ball game. It's not going to be pretty. But the bottom line is, there was no ceiling there for Dakota Hudson. Maybe the floor was somebody that can give you 5 innings and keep you in the ball game, get in and out of walks and situations where he's got stressful innings that he can get in and out of. But Dakota Hudson didn't have a ceiling. I'm tired of watching Woodford and Hudson get opportunities that maybe could go to a young guy, perhaps a Zach Thompson, perhaps if he has a great spring training, and man, I hope he does, a Tink Hence. Somebody that you could catch lightning in a bottle with if you absolutely are pressed into needing a starter, as opposed to Dakota Hudson, no offense to him, or Jake Woodford, no offense to him, being the next guy up off the assembly lines. Like, here we go. I don't want to see it anymore. So I'm okay with the Cardinals moving on from those players. I think they're redundant.
Are you going to miss Homer Hagan?
I'm not. Not one bit. I know a lot of opposing hitters
our listeners will.
Good name, Drew Homerhagen for sure. Just didn't work for the Cardinals. No.
Okay.
Are you?
No. I thought that there was nothing. Again, that's why I said there was not a name that, when you look at this roster and what they lost from last year, what subtractions they have from last year, there's not a name that really sticks out or stands out as a guy that was either a core guy on this team in terms of his role, or even I know you say Adam Wainwright, but I just feel like even last year felt like, with all of the injuries that he dealt with and he wasn't performing well, it's hard to be the leader that you have always been when you aren't performing well. It's almost like Hell, I'm going to say to these guys, I ain't doing good enough myself. Why would they listen to me? Even though you have, the history and the legacy and so much stock in what you're saying, but when you're not performing well, it's hard for you to feel like guys will listen to you. Sure. So I don't know how much his loss is going to hurt in terms of the clubhouse atmosphere either.
I wonder how much of an impact Andrew Kisner and his absence will have on this pitching staff, because he did a lot of background, like behind the scenes, really digging into the information for the catchers. He did a lot of that, and he was just a great dude that everyone wanted to be around. So I wonder if maybe not so much on the field from what he could do, like at the plate and whatnot, but I just wonder if that will have an impact.
I'm almost glad that's a really good point, because he was somebody that I thought of, but then I thought it's good to not have the safety net. If you're Wilson Contreras, if you're Ivan Herrera, you are tasked with getting to know the pitchers, getting to know what they throw, getting to know what they like in certain situations, understanding when a guy is locked in that day, getting to know he doesn't have his best stuff, what it requires to get through a game like that. I'm glad the safety net of Andrew Kisner, who apparently is just this this workaholic, somebody that is diving into the game plans better, as much as anyone, because he learned from Yachty. I'm glad that guy isn't around. Your safety net is no longer here. Come on, Herrera. Come on, Contreras.
309. Anthony hates Andrew Kisner.
There you go. That's what I heard too. Huh. He's glad he's gone.
You guys got a good ear, doctor? Something you want to make?
Well, this phone is. Oh, hey, look, it came off.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe not. So maybe that's why he's not hearing you correctly.
The other thing, and Carey, you kind of just touched upon this with Richie Palacios. If we're all being honest, like, that's the subconscious worry. The subconscious worry is that you just traded Randy Arozarena again, or another version of Randy Arozarena again. Tyler O'Neill, to me, I think it's going to be predictable. He's not going to stay healthy.
You know what?
But I also think he's probably going to hit a bunch of home runs because the expectations are lower. Even though he's in Boston, that's not a very good Red Sox team. I think Tyler O'Neill is what my late, great, dear friend Chris Duncan used to say. He's a good player in a bad team.
I think he's going to stay healthier than he did here. And then he's going to have a really good season, and then Cardinal fans are going to be irate because they are wondering why he couldn't do or why he didn't do that consistently here.
But he didn't, right?
He didn't.
He did not stay healthy
what
here.
What you should not do is be frustrated that he's having success elsewhere, because sometimes when you go to different teams, different cities, different doctors, there are different philosophies. How you go about your day-to-day changes, and so you may find a way to have more success. Sometimes you do need a change of scenery as a player. We talk about it all the time. If we talked about it yesterday, if Patrick Mahomes goes to the Chicago Bears, he's probably not on his third Super Bowl.
He's Justin Herbert.
There you go. So it's about being in the right place at the right time. And don't be surprised. Tyler O'Neill has had top 10 MVP caliber seasons or season. So why would it be a shock if he were to have that success again?
I'm not going to be a hypocrite when it comes to Tyler O'Neill. Based on the information that the Cardinals have heading into this offseason, which is one good year and then a bunch of years where he teased you with his potential, and he got hurt a lot. What's the information that we have right now to make this decision? And the information says move on. So if O'Neill winds up being an MVP, or he's in the top 3 of the MVP next year for the Boston Red Sox, good for him, but I am not going to be a hypocrite about it. He showed you that he couldn't stay healthy in a Cardinals uniform. I don't know what you want to do.
Well, I feel like you could be mad, but don't be mad at the Cardinals, right? Be mad at him.
People will, but yeah.
I don't think they will, though. I think there's a lot of people out there that did not want him on this team.
But people tend to just base their opinions off of the results that happened, and they don't want to have any perspective, and they don't want to go back and say, how did I feel at the time? So if Tyler O'Neill, I'm not showing a select few. I'd like to think that most people are self-aware, but when he goes to Boston and he has even a good month, some of these people that didn't want him back will say, well, Cardinals screwed up another evaluation. It's going to happen.
That doesn't make them right, though.
Is it the same people that felt that way about Harrison Bader, who didn't like Harrison Bader when he was, showing off the powder blue Jays and couldn't hit But, yeah, I mean, he could field, but he just couldn't hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to New York and hits a bunch of home runs in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Same people, you
Same
think?
people. Yes.
Yeah, you'll never.
What's their
Everyone will
agenda?
never be satisfied.
What's their agenda? Their agenda is, I don't like John Mozeliak. I don't like the way he does things. And more evidence that comes out, any sort of evidence that comes out, that I can squeeze in the narrative, that's what I want. What's it called? Cognitive dissonance, I think?
Yeah.
When you start
That's
to just
the term. I don't know
When
if
you
that's
just start to believe.
Oh,
I may be off on that, but there is a fallacy in which you just seek out the information that you want to make sure that it
fits your
narrative.
Oh yeah.
And if your narrative is the Cardinals will never be, good
You're
under
gonna find reasons
under Mo,
for that to be the case.
you're going to find reasons. Now, unfortunately for Mo, there's plenty of reasons of late to suggest that they won't. So I'm not even saying these people are wrong.
I think you actually did John Mozeliak a favor here, because when you're talking about what they got rid of or the subtractions in comparison to the additions, you have to believe that this team is going to be better, no matter what division they're in. Like, you talk about the division and how terrible it is, but this team did get better from last season, and that was the question, that was the complaint, the gripe, the thing that upset people so much last season was you looked at that. I didn't play the lineup game with you all last year, but I can guarantee you didn't hit one on the head towards the last month of the season.
Oh, God, no.
Because some of these guys, you're like, who?
Who the hell is this?
Junio Karaku? Who? I didn't even know this guy was on the team.
Who the hell is Uniel
Taylor
Karakudo?
Motter, starting again, eh? Like,
Hey, don't make fun of him. I saw him play live.
Good guy. But I'm sure towards the end of the season, the team that they rolled out there is like, oh, what the hell are we doing? Mm-hmm. This team has gotten better in terms of the players that they brought in versus the players that they lost.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask for. Now, the need is for those players to play better from start to finish.
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask. And if they do, they can have a really good team. If the players stink or don't play well or don't hit well, don't pitch well, it's going to be another – I don't think it'll be another 90-loss season, because that was terrible.
So, but
89.
Ooh, ouch. What do you got, Marsh?
Cognitive dissonance is a psychological phenomenon that occurs when a person holds two contradictory beliefs at the same time.
Okay, so I was circling the drain at least around it.
I knew that was the name, but I wasn't sure if that was the.
So that would be. I'm trying to think with the Cardinals how this relates to what we were talking about.
Read it again, Marshy.
Cognitive dissonance is a psychological phenomenon that occurs when a person holds two contradictory beliefs at the same time.
Oh, so kind of what we do every day. The Cardinals stink, but they're in a bad division, so they can be good. Is that those are contradictory?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I'll do some research.
I want the Cardinals to spend, not that guy.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Why'd you spend it on him?
They gotta spend more. Not like that. Are you sold? We're going to play Are You Sold next. So if you have an Are You Sold, you can send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Are You Sold next? It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh. Let's play a little Are You Sold?
By the way, confirmation bias is what
that's
we're
what it
looking
is.
for.
Confirmation bias.
Yeah.
There it is. All right. Thank you, text line. Our listeners are fantastic.
They really are.
They know.
Guys and gals in the snake pit are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Good people.
Darn right.
Are you ready for Are You Sold?
Ready.
From the 314, are you sold that Patrick Mahomes will finish his career as the second best all-time quarterback?
In terms of Super Bowl wins, because 7 is a lot. You got 4 more to go. I mean, if we're talking about in terms of, are we talking about in terms of statistical
Let's just do Super Bowl.
wins? Yes.
Yes, you're sold that he'll be second
Yes.
behind Tom Brady.
Yeah, 7 is 3 in 6 years or 7 years, I guess. We tend to forget the first year, but 3 in 6 years as a starter is absolutely amazing. Tom Brady did that he got 3 in the first 10 and got 4 in the second 10. Yeah, that's hard, man. Like it is hard. Nah, it doesn't look hard because if you give him the ball, he's gonna score.
Didn't look that hard on
Didn't look that
Sunday.
hard.
In overtime or
That's a lot,
fourth
man.
quarter. I am not sold that he'll be second because I do think he could match and surpass Brady.
So you're thinking 8?
I think you get 8.
8?
Yeah.
Come on.
Who's going to stop him? We had this conversation yesterday.
gonna stop me, huh?
Who's going to stop him?
There are 31 other teams. Not really.
It's more like 10.
20,
Look at the
12,
NFC. Look at the
15.
NFC. Who's in the NFC that's good? That's going to slow you
The
down?
AFC is loaded, though. Or at least we thought they were last year. And then it turned out to be this year again. I don't know, man.
I'm not going to put it past Mahomes. I think he's got the opportunity to be the greatest of all time. He's 28. He could play another 10 years. You don't think you win 4 Super Bowls in 10 years?
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's
unless you're
pretty
the GOAT.
much every other year.
I'm not going to put it past him. Carey.
If he gets
Carey.
to 5,
Look
in
at
the
that
next-
team he had to this year.
If he gets 2 more in the next 5 seasons, I will start listening.
I was listening to BK and Ferrario coming in, and they were talking about one of the, I don't know if it was a former GM or front office personnel guy who was talking about how the Chiefs have proven that you don't have to focus on the receiver to win it all. And BK kind of disagreed with that and said, well, no, if you got Mahomes, you got a great defense, you should be able to concentrate. It actually, what Mahomes did, he proved that you do need another receiver. I disagree.
I don't. He did it just fine.
Yeah, the last 2 years, he's not had a good receiver. Rashee Rice, I would take a million times over Juju Smith-Schuster from a year ago.
Yeah.
And you've got Travis Kelce, who is a pass catcher. Okay, we won't get in the whole tight end, wide receiver. He's a pass catcher.
Appreciate you.
You still have Kelce. Like, we can't overlook. I don't understand why we have this conversation about the Chiefs and the lack of receivers and all that, but we just overlook Travis Kelce.
Yeah, he's their number 1 receiver.
Yes.
He plays tight end, but he's their number 1 receiver.
Whatever.
There you
Like, fine.
Yeah.
But you won with this team. Why? Because the defense, the youngest defense in the league,
balled.
was outstanding from week 1. Week 1. They didn't have a bad game. They barely had a bad half. It was remarkable. And that team is going to come back next year, and they're still going to have Mahomes. He can beat you in a variety of ways.
Does it say more about the quarterbacks and their inability? Tua, no. Couldn't get it done. It was freezing, but whatever. It was cold for both teams. Josh Allen, no, couldn't get it done. Lamar, couldn't get it done. I still say that's a lot, though. I almost swayed myself the other way, but I'm going to stay.
This year was when you were supposed to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They had issues at receiver. Their cap situation was a bit of a mess. This was supposed to be the year. They were an underdog to Buffalo, Baltimore, and San Francisco. They had to go on the road for the first time under Patrick Mahomes.
Didn't matter.
Every time
It didn't matter.
They didn't score a point in the second half against Baltimore, still won. This was supposed to be the year. So I'm not going to doubt Mahomes winning 7 or 8.
He would have to win 8, though, because if he gets 7 and ties Brady...
Brady's still the GOAT.
Brady beat him. Beat him twice.
Brady beat him. I can't give
up.
I can't give you the
He's in his second year when he lost to Brady in the AFC Championship
and then
game.
He was in what, his third year when he lost in the Super Bowl? Fourth year? Okay. He didn't have an offensive line, but still lost to Brady.
Definitely didn't. They were.
He lost to the Bucs, but we're going to phrase it like he lost to Brady.
Yeah. All right.
If they tie, Brady's still the GOAT.
All right, next one from the 314. Are you guys sold on Hawaiian pizza?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
I know
Yes.
a lot of people don't like it. I
don't
get
get
it.
that.
I understand it. I love
You're not
it.
a fan?
No, I love Hawaiian
okay,
pizza.
yeah.
I don't
I'm
know
all for
why.
it.
Little pineapple and
Yeah,
Canadian
yeah.
bacon.
Sign me up.
I'm in. Otherwise known as ham. Yep. Yeah, I'm in.
I'm with you.
I know people are like, oh, you're putting fruit on pizza and all.
Look, hush your mouth.
It tastes good.
Yeah. You could have just said pizza.
I mean, here's what I would say to that. Why is it appropriate for some people to put fungus on their pizza, but then they scoff at delicious sweetness that is pineapple?
Fungus?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mushrooms. Some people put mushrooms on pizza. They put literal fungus on the pizza
Isn't
and
it
say,
fungi?
It's
when
fungi.
don't
when
care.
It's multiple.
Fungi. They put all kind of fungi all over the pizza.
You're a fun guy.
Thank you. Thank you, Marsh. You put fungi all over your pizza and go, yeah, this is appropriate.
Mushrooms
and then they
are terrible.
They are terrible. Thank you. And they turn around and they belittle the sweet, sweet goodness of a pineapple.
You're telling me that you're putting things that decompose animal poop on your pizza? That's what they do.
Mushrooms?
Yeah, they decompose animal droppings. I learned that in science class in middle school.
If I paid attention in middle school, I would have that same knowledge, but I appreciate you paying attention to, so now I know.
That's why I don't like mushrooms.
Plus, they taste like crap.
That too.
Tastes like dirt. Squished dirt. No, thank you.
All right, final one here from 636. Are you sold that the Cards are a playoff team? Because every other team in the National League Central is a dumpster fire among a larger pile of dumpster fires.
I didn't text that in, but it sounds like I did. Yes, I am sold that they are a playoff team because nobody else in the Central is really, truly trying.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. I tried to find...
You begrudgingly went with us.
Tried to find a reason as another reason.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I mean... But here's the thing. Nobody, to your point, which you have stated time and time again, nobody tries. Nobody tried last year, and they came in 5th. So,
but Milwaukee's somehow worse than a year ago.
Yeah, but they
traded Corbin Burns. They won't have Woodruff.
Last in a division that you said no one is trying. How?
Let go of their manager. Like, Carey. I don't know.
Would it say more about this organization if they don't make it to the playoffs? With the understanding that teams in the division aren't signing people and I don't want to say not trying because I think that's harsh.
You think
They're
the
not
Pittsburgh Pirates are trying?
Well, they try in their own way.
Oh boy,
their money is allocated to whom they feel is going to help them win. They just want to win on the financial side more than on the field. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
But they don't have a lot of butts in seats either. So.
You asked the question? Yeah, the expectation should be they win the NL Central. And I don't want to hear how they went from last to first if they do. I don't want to hear it. They should go from last to first. Last year stunk because you grossly underestimated how good your pitching staff was and made no adjustments to it. You're like, yeah, this is good. We're fine. Got a million questions. No problem. We're fine. And then you get your ass handed to you in the most predictable way possible. But this year, you made the adjustments. Okay, you brought in guys that can eat innings. Cool. You should go from last to first. That should be the expectation.
We'll see. Oh.
Speaking of the rotation, what happens if the rotation falters or injuries strike? We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues are back in action tonight, taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We have Joe Vitale joining the show at 4:30, so stay tuned for that as well. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
We need a new Gauntlet contestant, so if you want to participate in the Gauntlet today to take on either Carey, Marsh, or me, you can text in right now to the Air Comfort Service text line. Just text in the word Gauntlet, and if you haven't played in a while, or if you have never played, you'll have an opportunity to put your hat in the ring today. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, Gauntlet coming up at 4 o'clock. The Cardinals last year, I made this statement in the last segment, Carey, about how they grossly underestimated the pitching, the starting pitching that they had. Mo even made the comment before the season that we've got 6 starters. I think he said 6.
He did say 6.
Yeah, you had, I think, 2? Yeah. And 1 you traded midway through the season? Jordan Montgomery? 1.5, yeah.
Miles was
a half.
Yeah, he did okay.
Yeah, every other month he did okay.
He did okay.
Yeah. So what happened last year was your entire season fell apart. And it wasn't just the starting pitching. Your bullpen helped blow a lot of games too. I don't think it was the most in Major League Baseball, but you were in wrong company when it comes to blowing games because your bullpen could not hold leads. Your offense also underperformed. I think the offense, it kind of is flying under the radar and flew under the radar a year ago from criticism because the pitching staff was so bad at times. But your offense did not score a ton of runs. We can talk about, the doubles and the extra base hits and the strikeout percentage and all that crap. You didn't score runs. You were, I think, 4th. I brought this up before. I think you were 4th in your division in terms of runs scored. It's not good enough. So your offense flew under the radar too. But Carey, going back to the starting rotation, if they do not pitch well or they suffer injury, so either the rotation falters because of performance or injury strike, what do you think happens?
Oh, I mean,
like, what do you do if they underestimated what they have coming into the year?
I think you hope that one of these younger guys is Zach Thompson, or you hope that he can fill a role. I mean, I think any team, if you lose multiple starters, you're probably going to be in trouble.
Sure.
And so you may be looking at trying to figure out what Gordon Graceffo was able to do, what McGreevy and Tink Hintz and all of the names that you've heard about who will hopefully get an opportunity in spring training. And then you got Zach Thompson, who also had some opportunities last year. If you lose if they go down for months at a time, it doesn't matter what you do. It's going to be trouble. It's going to be a struggle because you brought those guys in because of the need for pitching, because of the need to eat up innings, because you didn't want to have as much stress on your bullpen as you had last year. Mm-hmm. I don't know how any team gets out of that. I mean, the Dodgers had some injuries last year, but they still, guess they hit the ball pretty well and had more pitching available.
Well, there you go.
But do the Cardinals, they don't seem to have more readily available because we haven't seen some of these younger guys. We don't know what they have in those younger guys in terms of Major League pitching and readiness.
I think you have more, Carey, but can we just talk about that aspect of it? Because here's the thing. You're right. Any team that suffers injuries in their starting rotation is going to be in trouble.
Right.
The Dodgers were able to withstand it, though. Mm-hmm. We've seen other teams, the Atlanta Braves.
They did as well.
Their position players stayed healthy, but their pitching staff took a hit throughout the year.
But neither of them had much success come playoff time.
No, you're right.
So, it can get you there. But can it make you have a long run? You got to have your guys, and you got to have a guy or two of those guys come playoff time. I mean, I think when you're looking at teams that win a World Series, win a championship, they have a couple of guys that you know. I mean, Aaron Nola and what's the Zach Wheeler a couple of years ago when they made their run, you know that they had two guys at the top of the rotation that are going to get you in those positions. And I think any team that has aspirations of being a playoff team that has a deep run in the playoffs, you have to have a guy, and you have to have two of those guys.
But, Carey, if we look at the Cardinals specifically, this is where I'm coming from on having some foresight, okay? If you're not going to be a team that takes the proverbial sledgehammer to the fly, meaning you're not going to throw numbers at the problem. You're just going to say, I've got 3 openings, I've got 3 job openings, I will make 3 hires, and that's it. It doesn't matter who else is available. I made my 3 hires, moving on to next fiscal year, right? That's how the Cardinals have operated. If you're going to be that team, fine. But you better have the depth in the minor leagues then, because that's what the Dodgers did. The Dodgers didn't take the sledgehammer to the fly last year. Now, this offseason they have. But last year, they went into the season knowing that Walker Buehler was hurt, knowing that Clayton Kershaw is in the twilight of his career. They didn't know that Julio Urias was going to do what he did from an off-field standpoint, but you still didn't have a ton of depth beyond those guys. I think Tony Gonsolin was banged up either during the year or at the start of the year. But they brought up guys like Miller, and they brought up other guys from their farm system that they had scouted, developed, and said, okay, we're going to roll with them. You don't want to sign Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell or anybody else that was either available or is still available, okay, fine. But you're telling everybody that your rotation is good to go. What is your backup plan? Because if you can't bring up guys from the minors that do a good job for you and keep this thing rolling, I'm going to go back to the offseason. If you don't want to sign guys and throw numbers at the problem in the offseason, fine. Your farm system better be good enough to have enough depth.
Well, I think that's what you're saying when you don't spend a lot of money. You're saying we trust the guys that are on their way. Right. We don't need to go overspend because we feel like we drafted well, we made some trades, and we got our farm system replenished well enough to where I can trust these younger guys to have an opportunity to come up and have success. But all of that ties into development, evaluating, and then developing that talent. And when those guys get here, then they perform. The Cardinals aren't going to overspend at any position. So you have to have successful guys from your minors that come up and play well.
Sure.
And, We expect Mason Winn to be that. I think Jordan Walker showed glimpses of that last year. Hopefully some of these pitchers can show that as well this season coming up.
Yeah.
And if not, if you do have an injury, you're gonna have and what it also does, it hurries the timeline for a younger guy if you may not want him to perform at that level just yet.
Right.
But if a guy gets injured, you may be rushed into action and anything can happen at that point.
That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's do our Sports Six-Pack next. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you have a question, send it in there. We'll do our Sports Six-Pack next in the Fast Line. I saw a sharp-looking Pathfinder on my way to work today. It was a black Pathfinder, and as I looked at the license plates, it had the Wiggity the Frog staring right back at me. They got it from Auto Centers Nissan, so I know they got a great deal, and they were able to finance that vehicle because when it comes to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they always have great deals going on in the cars, but it goes beyond that because, of course, you want a great deal on the vehicle, but other dealerships can offer you a great deal. What else are they going to offer you? Well, when it comes to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they've got the best of financing department that I have ever seen. If you got great credit, perfect. You don't have to worry about that. But if you have bad credit and you're worried about it, or you just don't know where your credit stands right now, head down there, because whether you have good credit or bad credit, Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they know that if you need a vehicle, they're going to set you up with one, and they're going to find a way to finance a vehicle. And as you drive off the lot, you're going to feel good about your monthly payment. When it comes to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they also give you a 30-day return promise. Within 30 days, if you need to bring the vehicle back, they'll refund it for you. They'll give you your money back. No problem on that. But they're so confident that you're going to love the experience, you're going to love your vehicle, that they have no problem handing out a 30-day return promise. They also have the free lifetime complimentary warranty on all new Nissans. Talk about peace of mind on that too. Not having to pay a warranty, outstanding. Head down there, tell my friends down at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum that Stalter sent you in, or visit them at autocentersnissan.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
With Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with your questions for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number one.
All right, guys, from the 314, have you seen the new Cardinals jerseys made by Fanatics? What are your thoughts? It appears the players do not like them.
Yeah, so let's clarify something here. Fanatics was in charge of this, not the Cardinals. So if you looked at these jerseys and really didn't dive too deep into it and think, well, the Cardinals, this is disgrace, it looks cheap, which it does. realize it's not the Cardinals. It's not their decision. This is fanatics being in production of the MLB uniforms for the first time. Nike has the logo on the license, or the licensing logo, I should say, and then every team is going to have to deal with some version of this. But yeah, it looks cheap. It looks like one of those fan giveaways.
Yeah.
When you get those jerseys. In fact, I think the Cardinals have a better fan giveaway than what you're looking at here.
You just play and hope that it doesn't become an issue. As a player, you have to.
Carey, you know if you don't feel good,
you don't play
good. If you don't look good, you don't play good.
But if everyone has the same issue, I don't know.
Then nobody's going to play good. It's going to be a terrible season.
For everybody?
For everybody.
There you go.
Nobody's going to win.
It's all even.
Yeah.
It's equal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It doesn't look good, but I guess it's all about how it feels on the players. That's the main thing. If it doesn't look good, but it doesn't hinder you in terms of throwing motion or being uncomfortable when you're out there throwing, or how does it feel once it gets wet?
Yeah.
It is, because that matters, especially in baseball. It's 150 degrees out there, and you're on the mound in July and August. You don't want to be.
150.
It feels like it.
Good God.
Maybe 110.
Miles Michaelis says that they also don't fit right. Pants are no longer customized. The fabric is very different consistency.
That's weird.
So it's not just the look, it's apparently the feel and the fit, too.
It's not good. Yeah.
Looks like we'll have another 90-loss season.
Oh, no.
Who needs the World Baseball Classic as an excuse when
you got
when
this.
Fanatics is right here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Question number 2.
From the 573, since pitchers and catchers report this week, what kind of deals do you see Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery getting this late in free agency?
I think that we'll see these guys sign almost back to back, because I think they're probably both waiting on each other. Scott Boras is not going to get a bad deal on Jordan Montgomery. He's just not. And somebody's going to pony up for Blake Snell. Maybe they don't get the contract that they thought at the start of the offseason. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe
probably
it's
not the length.
Maybe it's more money.
Yeah,
but not the term.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a 4-year deal when they wanted 6.
Right.
But they're going to get more money overall. I could see that.
They'll get paid, then they'll get signed, and they'll have. I'm sure they have had conversations already with teams, just kind of weighing out their options and seeing which one. Although at this point, not that I was to the level of Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery in terms of my career, but I would have wanted to be on the team by now.
Yeah.
Like, the longer you wait, there is a level of anxiety when you're just sitting around and everyone is, things start moving around. You're like, where are you guys going? What are you doing? We're getting ready for spring training. All right. Was it that time? I don't even have a team. Yes.
I don't know where I'm going to live. Yeah, I would.
Where are we? Right.
I would want to be signed too.
Yes.
Question number 3.
From the 314, does St. Louis have the best storylines in sports that have led to a championship?
It's hard to beat the Blues 2019 run.
It's hard to beat Kurt Warner.
It's hard to beat Kurt Warner.
It's hard to beat that 2011 team too, Anthony.
It's hard to beat the 2011 team that needed the August that they had.
The best
or September that they had, excuse me.
Ever, though? Like, storyline. I'm sure there are some out there that we are missing.
But you have 3 of them. We just named 3 awesome storylines.
The Giants winning their first Super Bowl, but the first Super Bowl against the Patriots. The undefeated Patriots.
The Red Sox down 0-3.
I don't want to hear about that.
You don't want to discuss that.
I don't want to hear that. No.
It matters. That's first time ever. That's a hell of a story. Against your okay.
Don't want to hear
if it wasn't
about the 04 Red Sox.
I'm sorry.
I don't, Carey. Right. Am I being unfair and irrational? Yeah.
Probably.
That's the best Cardinals team I've seen, and I don't like the Red Sox.
And they ran into a bus, though.
Yeah, they ran into a team of destiny and all that crap.
They made a movie about it as well.
What movie?
Why she didn't like.
Whoa. That was Anthony that didn't like Fever Pitch.
Oh, Fever Pitch is terrible.
That was him.
Jimmy Fallon doing his thing.
Yeah.
The same dude and everything. Just giggling his way to success.
We won't even say what you said yesterday about somebody making the same songs
Tell me I'm wrong. I didn't say same songs. I said
Same
repeating.
sounds.
I said repeating the same lyric over and over and over again, which is true.
Anthony.
This person has made quite a living
What's your middle name?
on repeating the same
Anthony,
damn
don't
lyric.
you do it.
Thomas.
Go Anthony Thomas Stalter.
What, are you parroting me right now? What are you going dad mode? Anthony Thomas.
You stop it.
All right.
Don't do it.
Okay.
I think with the Giants and the 04 Red Sox, those storylines were great, but they only were postseason storylines. If you look at the Rams with Kurt Warner,
Trent
that was
Green
a
getting
full
injured.
season.
Yeah.
You have the 2011 Cardinals. That one was in August that led up to the postseason, how they made it, and then the Blues in 2019 halfway through the year.
Plus, you lost Wainwright in spring training that year.
Mm-hmm.
Blues in but how are you going to beat the Blues in 2019? Team was in dead last. We were all talking about trading every component of that team and starting over, and they won the damn Stanley Cup with an interim head coach. Like, how are you going to beat that storyline? Even the LA Kings, when they were the eighth seed there and make their run, at least they had Jonathan Quick. Jordan Binnington in and of itself was a story. Mm-hmm. They gave that kid to Boston so the Bruins could use him in their minor leagues. They rented him. Like, come on. That's a remarkable. The Maroon with the hometown story. That may have been the greatest frickin' story ever.
Some people are saying that this year's Blues team are really reminiscent of that 2019 team.
Anthony said
I haven't
people are
met
saying,
those people, but
Anthony said it.
if they're
hard to
talking
meet
about like the
yourself.
trade deadline
Anthony said
and
it.
reminded of the trade deadline of 2019, that I could see.
Anthony believes.
If you put the 2019 Blues team on a script, and you're like, hey, I'm going to pitch this puppy to Disney, Mickey and the gang would laugh you out of the building. They're like, even for us, this is not possible. This is unrealistic.
There are some other moments like that. I'm just struggling off the top of my head.
That's because there are none.
The Nationals did something similar literally that summer, too. They were pretty bad. Made the playoffs. Won the
But they
World
got
Series.
healthy. Like the Blues did. The Blues were just bad, and then they decided, all right, we're going to start playing better.
Like the 2023-24 Blues.
You know what Disney does do, Anthony? They make sequels. And
They
this
do make
year
sequels. Yeah.
is number 2.
There you go.
Sometimes the sequel's even better in some cases.
Written by Anthony Thomas Stalter.
You're going to use it a lot now, I'm fearing. Oh, man.
Old ATS.
Old ATS.
Question number 4.
Here's a good question from the 661. If Matt Carpenter hits over 300 in spring, does that earn him a starting spot? Or do you keep the younger guys in?
You keep the younger guys in. Where would you play Matt Carpenter?
That would be my question.
Where would you play him full time?
Second base.
No.
Brendan Donovan is not.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
The answer is no.
All right.
You're not going to play him at first. Or you're going to play Matt Carpenter. You can
Not
DH,
every
I guess
day.
you could DH him, but you want to put Nolan Gorman on the bench?
You put him at second. Who's playing second base?
Brendan Donovan or Nolan Gorman.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't.
We're getting some text messages about certain storylines from the 314 Miracle on Ice storyline. That was a pretty good one.
That's the one I was looking at.
I was thinking of like the 4 major sports.
Gotcha.
Not necessarily an Olympic.
But like a season story. But the Cardinals, that wasn't a season story. That was a run towards the end story.
Yeah. I would put the Blues storylines up against anything else that's coming in on the text line.
You didn't find
the 4 major.
the Colby Rasmus drama to be intriguing?
It was very intriguing. I found Jordan Binnington coming out of nowhere to be more intriguing.
That's fair. How about this from the 314? Remember that dude that built that field and got a bunch of ghosts to play baseball?
That's a
pretty
story.
incredible story.
If you build it, they will come.
That documentary was fascinating. But I don't know if it beats the Blues because there's no season. You know, they kind of played some games. It was. I mean, these ghosts being out there again.
Cornfield.
What about Moonlight Graham?
Well, I think the biggest travesty is Moonlight Graham not being able to play.
He saved that girl's life, though.
Well, to pay attention to the girl. Make sure she's not going to choke, or somebody know the damn Heimlich, so that Moonlight Graham doesn't have to come out and save her. You got a bunch of adults there, and it takes a ghost to come out of the cornfield to save the little girl. And give up his playing card.
I always wondered how immediately when Moonlight Graham saves a little girl, and the guy from Little Big League starts to believe, how everyone in Iowa and just all of a sudden knew that there were ghosts being played at this baseball field, and the whole line to get to the ball field is like super long.
Well, no doubt. Sure.
How do they know?
Well, we're
social media around back then.
Word travels.
Word travels.
Freaking ghost playing in a cornfield. You tell me
they didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Word gets around.
Exactly.
Quickly.
So, but I will say, 2 biggest travesties ever in this lifetime. Rose not moving her dead ass over so Jack can get on that door.
Rose was
Moonlight Graham being needed when nobody knows the Heimlich.
Do you think that that they would have sunk to the bottom had both of them been on there?
I don't think so.
I don't know if it could hold both of their weights, and I think that maybe
Jack
that's
weighed
why.
135 pounds soaking wet.
Maybe
You
that's
saw
all
him.
it took. She could have moved over, though. They could have figured it out.
He was a great artist, too.
Great artist lost to the sea. Great artist lost to the sea.
Yeah.
Because somebody was a little too selfish that night. Here's the other thing, too, that nobody talks about. She was on one of the life rafts.
Oh.
She was out of there. She jumped off of it.
To get
She
Jack.
had a vendetta against this guy.
Yeah, she didn't want him to survive.
Got him arrested, got him chained up,
Yeah.
got him dead.
Got him dead.
Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN. I hit the MAC as I came to work today. I love just kind of stopping in real quick today. I only had a half hour, worked out, got my shower in, hit the road. Missouri Athletic Club, I love making a part of my daily routine. I also enjoy going to major events downtown, whether it's the Blues Hall of Fame night or the College Basketball Writers Association Awards, and we're proud to broadcast from the MAC downtown when those awards come in. They always have something going on, either for me as an individual or for the family. I enjoy the MAC. It's Missouri Athletic Club.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
4:05, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Tom, who's our latest contestant in the Gauntlet. What's up, Tom?
Hey, how you doing, Anthony?
Doing very well. Appreciate you joining us today. Is this your first time in the Gauntlet?
It is. I had to bug Marshy a lot.
Okay. Well,
There's
good.
a
You got
lot of
through.
people that were throwing shade my way, saying you won't choose me.
Ooh, I
you
like
won't
that.
choose me.
You won't, as Brad Thompson used to say. You won't.
And I chose Tom today.
Well, good. I'm glad you got through, Tom. All right, so Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, or me? Who are you choosing?
Well, one person I'm not doing is picking on Carey Davis, so I think I'm going to go with Andrew.
There you go.
Andrew Marsh.
All right.
There you go.
Old Andrew Stalter.
Old
You're
Andrew
up, baby.
Who was that last time? Hockey Bob?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. All right, so Tom, before Marsh goes into the cone of silence, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin the wheel.
Hey, Marshy, spin that wheel, sir.
There you go. Tom, what are we hoping for, kid?
It doesn't matter. I'm just glad to be on your show. I love it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. All right, we'll see. I got the launch codes here. Carey, you're in a better spot
Yeah.
to read what that wheel
Wait
says.
for Marshy to get in this spot. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Baseball.
Tom, how
There
you
you
feel
go.
about baseball?
That'll work.
That'll work.
That'll
All
work.
right, I like that. Let me get the launch codes here. As I'm doing so, just a reminder that Tom and Marsh are going to get the same 4 questions, all baseball. Each question is worth 2 points unless Tom or Marsh ask for the options. If they ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Tom, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. The Cardinals will kick off their 2024 season against Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. St. Louis hasn't played an NL West foe on opening day since 2013, when which Redbird starter took the ball versus Arizona? So who was the starter in 2013 on opening day when the Cardinals played the Diamondbacks?
Options, sir.
Sure. Chris Carpenter, Adam Wainwright, or Kyle Loesch?
I'm going to go with Wayno, final answer.
All right, question number 2. Milwaukee captured the NL Central Division crown last season, compiling a 92-70 record. Who led the Brewers' pitching staff in wins?
Corbin Burns, final answer.
Question 3, Tom. The Florida Marlins took the field for the first time in 1993. Name the franchise's first manager.
Options.
Renee Latchman, Jim Leland, or Lou Piniella?
What was the first guy?
Renee Latchman.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that, sir.
Okay.
Final answer.
Got it.
All right, stadium alert. Where do the San Francisco Giants play their home games?
I'll know it with the options.
Is it State Farm Field, Truist Park, or Oracle Park?
It's Oracle Park, final answer.
Okay. Tom, how you feeling?
Oh, just like Carey probably does after he plays it.
Nah.
Yeah.
Strong to quite strong. All right. Marsh is making his way.
Football, and then I'm
Then you feel
good.
pretty happy about it. If it's anything else.
Oh my God.
So Marsh is making his way into the cone of out of the cone of silence now. Marsh, welcome back.
Hello.
Your category today is baseball. Baseball is your category.
All right.
He's ready.
Carey, tell him.
Pack a lunch, Marsh.
Alrighty.
Marsh, question number 1. The Cardinals will kick off their 2024 season against Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. St. Louis hasn't played an NL West foe on opening day since 2013, when which Redbird starter took the ball versus Arizona? Who started opening day 2013?
2013.
Against the old Diamondbacks.
Opening day, eh?
Eh?
Oh, jeez. Who would have that been? Yeah, gonna have to use the options.
Chris Carpenter, Adam Wainwright, Kyle Loesch.
I have no idea. I'm just gonna go with Chris Carpenter.
Final answer?
Sure. Final answer.
Question number 2. Milwaukee captured the NL Central Division crown last season, compiling a 92-70 record. Who led the Brewers' pitching staff in wins?
Is it as easy as Corbin Burns? Or was it Freddie Peralta? I think he had a good year. I think. Let's go Freddie Peralta. Final answer.
Question 3, Marsh. The Florida Marlins took the field for the first time in 1993. Name the franchise's first manager.
Well, I know Jim Leland was there when they won in 97. Was he there in 93? Let's use the options.
Renee Latchman, Jim Leland, Lou Piniella.
I'll just go Jim Leland. Final answer.
Final question. Stadium alert. Where do the San Francisco Giants play their home games?
Oracle Park. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Tom versus Marsh in baseball. Start of question 1. The Cardinals will kick off their 2024 season against Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. St. Louis hasn't played an NLS foe on opening day since 2013, when which Redbird starter took the ball versus Arizona? Tom, you said Adam Wainwright. Marsh, you said Chris Carpenter. Correct answer is
Adam Wainwright.
But no, you guys both needed the options on that one.
Yep.
So Tom with a 1-0 lead over Marsh.
All right.
The Florida Marlins took the field for the first time in 1993. Name the franchise's first manager. Marsh, you went Jim Leland. Tom, you went Renee Latchman. Correct answer is
Renee Latchman.
Tom with a 2-0 lead. Tom needed the options on that one as well, but he takes a 2-0 lead. Stadium alert. Where did the San Francisco Giants play their home games? Tom, you said Oracle Park. Marsh, you said Oracle Park. Correct answer is
It is indeed Oracle Park.
But Marsh didn't need the options. Tom did. So what we have here
3-2
is a 3-2 lead for Tom. Marsh catches up a little. Comes down to this. Milwaukee captured the NL Central Division crown last season, compiling a 92-70 record. Who led the Brewers' pitching staff in wins? You have different answers. Neither of you took the options. Corbin Burns was Tom's answer. Fastball Freddie Peralta was Marsh's answer. Marsh did not use the option, so if it's fastball Freddie, Marsh is going to win 4-3 today. If it's Corbin Burns, then Tom breaks out a big can of whooping on Marsh. The other option, by the way, because both guys were options, was Wade Miley. If it's Wade Miley, Tom wins.
Wade Miley's leading your team in wins. Ooh.
So what Tom wants to hear Carey say is the name Corbin Burns or Wade Miley. Again, if it's Freddie Peralta, Marsh wins. Carey, who led the Brewers pitching staff in wins last season?
Wade Miley is not the answer. It's Freddie Peralta.
Tom.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Tom, that was a tough one. You got 3 of the 4 right. You got 3 of the 4 questions right. Marsh got 2 of the 4 questions right, but he did not use the options on both, and he takes home the crown 4-3 today. Great battle.
Good job, Marshy.
Sorry,
That
Tom.
was a tough one. That was a barn burner, as the kids say.
Well, thanks, guys. I love the show.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
All righty.
All right, there you go. Marsh, nice job. You actually won it on kind of with the Freddie Peralta, but you not using the options on the Oracle Park sent you over. Nice job, man.
Appreciate it. And, of course, Tom seemed like a really nice guy.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, you're going to be
your thing.
Yeah, you're going to beat guys that are nice. That's just kind of your thing. Marsh, you did not pitch well, but you hit 2 home runs, and you wound up winning.
That's all you need, right?
Yeah, a couple of ding-dong Johnsons.
Sometimes you need your offense to step up when there's runners in scoring position.
Boy, don't we know it here in St. Louis.
Today, it's a Tuesday afternoon. We know how the Cardinals do in those afternoon games.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Actually, we did the math.
Actually,
on
they don't do
Thursdays.
well.
They were actually bad.
Who knows when they won? All right, Joe Vitale will join us at the bottom of the hour to talk about this Blues and Maple Leafs matchup for the Blues. But does the rest of the lineup impact whether or not Mason Winn stays at the big league level? I thought this was kind of interesting when I was reading Derek Gould's latest chat at stltoday.com. We'll get into it next on 101 ESPN. Josh Innes just stopped in to the studio, and he does this. He does this maybe once a show, where he pops in, and it inevitably is the most interesting break that we have.
What just happened?
He's got thoughts. I mean,
a lot of them.
Love him, hate him. Josh Innes has thoughts.
A lot of thoughts, and they're all intriguing.
Like especially when Jamie's here, we're all psychopaths to certain degrees.
Yeah.
The fact that people listen to us and actually kind of enjoy it, some of you, you're a psychopath too. You know it. You're listening. Psychopaths appreciate psychopaths. He's in a different realm.
That guy.
He's the Dodgers. We're the Cardinals when it comes to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got nothing. He's Mahomes. We're Purdy. Like we can get it done.
We're fine.
But
wow.
Yeah. Anyways, so Mason Winn. I saw this. There's no transition here involving Josh in this. I was looking at Derek Gould's latest chat for STLtoday.com, and somebody asked him about Mason Winn. What does Mason Winn's slash line need to be for him to stay at the majors? And Derek, I thought, had an interesting response. He said it actually is probably more contingent on the Cardinals lineup producing around Winn than it is on whether or not Winn will stay above a certain threshold. Obviously, if Mason Winn hits and he plays great defense, he ain't going anywhere. He's going to be the full-time starter.
Right.
But this obviously is the hypothetical of Winn struggling at the plate. He brought up Derek brought up Yadier Molina. When Yadi first came up, Tony La Russa made it a point of, hey, Yadi doesn't even have to get a hit to stay in the lineup.
Right.
Because you had everybody else around him. You had Scott Rowland, and you had Jim Edmonds, and you had Albert, and you had whoever at the time. So Yadi could just focus on defense. Mm-hmm. But to Derek's point, he said if the rest of the lineup struggles, or the majority of the lineup struggles, and Mason Winn is having issues, Mason Winn could go down so that the Cardinals can try to finagle a lineup that'll produce more offense. I don't think Derek is wrong in this line of thinking. Derek is on top of it. He's on top of the Cardinals' line of thinking. He's been around a long time and has done it at the highest level. Derek is one of, if not the best beat writers in the country, and we're lucky to have him. I hope the Cardinals don't have that line of thinking, though, Carey.
I agree.
If Mason wins, if his head is above water, or if his head is underwater, and you could tell he's struggling and it's just not happening and he's putting too much pressure on himself and now he's making errors defensively, that's a different story.
Right.
But if he's just struggling to learn how to hit big league pitching, leave him in there.
Yeah. Let him go through it.
Let him hit 8th or 9th, play good defense, and let him develop.
I'm with you 100%. I think it's unfortunate to put the team's struggles as to why he would be sent down. Sure. If you expect him to not hit at the level that you need him to hit at right away. And we talk about Yadi because I think that's a perfect example because of what Yadi gave you defensively weighed more than what you expected or what you needed at the plate. Again, the people around him obviously being better, but with Mason Winn, he should give you to that level of defensive play where any ball hit in his vicinity, he's going to get to or be close to getting to. He's got an arm. He's going to throw guys out. He's going to make some spectacular plays, which does what? Saves you runs. It saves you from getting balls hit into the outfield or hitting into the gap if he's able to snag one. Just the things he's able to do or should be able to do should allow you to be more successful defensively and save runs. And if you are struggling offensively, the one thing you don't want is to give up a lot of runs. Mm-hmm. So if he's playing well on the defensive side and maybe not hitting to the level, I think it would be unfair and unfortunate that you sent him down because everyone else around him was struggling. No, you all play better as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you think?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, do you think they'll send him down
to work on his launch angle?
Yeah.
Probably.
Did you want to send Carey off? Because you know that's one of his triggers.
Probably.
You know it's one of his triggers.
Launch angle. You know, if you play for the Cardinals, the launch angle is a sufficient statistic that you need to have. And if you don't have the proper launch angle, you're not going to play here. And we work on this tirelessly in the spring training. We do this on and on and on at spring training. We make sure our guys understand that it's a 45 to 35% launch angle that we need. If you're lower than that, we don't want you here. Anything higher than that is going to be a pop-out. Okay? So we work on these things. We talk about it. We have the sheets. We have to. I had crunched all these dang on numbers. What do you think I'm here for? Okay? Here for a purpose. Here for a good time, not a long time. Get it together. All right? Thank you.
Who said that? There had to be somebody that has said that in your life. Not here for a good time, here for a long time.
Here for a good time, not for a long time.
Who said that? What coach?
That's somebody. I've heard it time and time again.
Didn't Drake say that in the song?
Probably
Drake. If not Drake, probably Ursher.
If not her, probably the other person that Anthony doesn't like.
Hey.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying, don't repeat the same lyric 24/7 and call yourself an artist. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Joe Vitale will join us to talk a little Blues hockey next.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you are worried about the temperatures, maybe it might get a little bit colder here in this February, and worried about your energy bills being at an all-time high, well, now is the time to replace those windows because that can help those energy bills. And with Window Nation, you can get 50% off of all window styles and pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Now is the perfect time to protect your family from the elements, lower your energy costs, and upgrade the look and feel of your home. The neighbors will be peering in, trying to figure out where you got those fantastic windows. It's from Window Nation. As I said, 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 24 months. Window Nation can install those windows in a day or less and will give you a lifetime warranty. They have installed over 200,000 windows just last year. All they do is windows. You need to reach out to them at 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com. Again, that's 50% off of all window styles, 0 down, 0 interest, and make no payments for 24 months. That's 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues take on the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. Pregame starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We're going to talk with Joe Vitale coming up next, so stay tuned for that. Once again, Blues Maple Leafs tonight. Pregame at 5. Puck drop is at 6. If you have missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Joey Vitale views things a little differently. Just imagine how he looks at hockey. Whoa! This is The View from Vitale, brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. In a half hour, you're going to hear from Alex Ferrario as the Blues pregame show starts at 5, and I just ripped off my microphone.
Oh, I thought that was me. I'm like, what did I do?
I literally just ripped off my microphone.
Now you can just be like Jamie was in his hotel room.
This is unbelievable. Joe Vitale joins us now. Joe, I just He-Man my microphone. I just ripped it right off the stand here.
You doing okay there, big fella?
He's been at the MAC. He's been working out.
I didn't realize how strong I became. So that just happened.
You and Rivs must be on the same program.
I guess so, man. Anyways, so what are you expecting tonight in Toronto?
Hey, I'm expecting a pretty intense game here. I know Toronto is a team that, as a lot of fans out there know, just coming off the Ottawa game where, Morgan Riley is going to be out of the lineup here tonight. We're still waiting on word on his suspension. But I think this is going to be a fueled-up Toronto team. They're looking to figure out a way to get out of this 500 hockey they've been inside of. Sheldon Keefe, I think he's one of those coaches on the hot seat. This team knows it. So this is a team certainly looking for a massive response here tonight. And on the flip side, the St. Louis Blues, as you guys know, they've been ultra hot on the road. Ultra hot as of late, playing some terrific hockey and looking to continue that here tonight.
Hey, Joey, I had a question about the Morgan Riley incident. So I think it was last year the Blues played Nashville, and Nashville scored a late empty netter. And I was asking him, hey, JK, do you think that the Blues should have been upset about that? Is that a normal reaction? Maybe not to that extent, but a guy shooting a shot that late and the slap shot in the way he did Morgan Riley have the right to be that upset?
Yeah, I think he absolutely did. Listen, there's nothing wrong with putting a puck in an empty net. Nothing at all. Whether you're up by 1, whether you're up by 2. We've seen situations where teams pull the goalie when they're down by 3. 1, 2, or 3, whatever it is. You end up having a breakaway. You're in the clear. The right thing to do is just to gingerly kind of just tap it in, set it over the goal line, and continue on with your play. So I think what Greggs did, certainly coming in full speed, ripping a slap shot to the back of the net, I think that Morgan Riley had every right to have a response. It's not really an old school style. It's really just the kind of, I would call it the unwritten rules of the game, where you have a little bit more respect for your opponent than that. To compare it to football, Carey, I guess a good comparison would be, if a team's up by 3, 4 touchdowns late and you're driving and all of a sudden you're in the red zone and it's a minute to go, this would be the equivalent of a quarterback dropping back and going for the end zone to go up by 5. That's kind of what we're talking about here. There's certainly, you want to win the game, but then there's a line where you certainly can't cross, in my opinion, and certainly in Morgan Riley's opinion, where that line is embarrassing your teammate and certainly making a stand where you want some attention. So, no issue with what he did, I guess, as long as you're ready to be jumped like he was right there. And like I said, I think that Morgan Riley certainly took it into his own hands. Did he need to cross-check him to the head? Absolutely not. But was the response needed? I think absolutely yes. So it'd be interesting to see how many games he gets. He did have an in-person hearing, so we're thinking probably at least 5. If you compare it to the David Perron one we saw earlier in this year, the Toronto Maple Leafs are potentially going to be Morgan Riley for at least 6 games, in my opinion.
Joe Vitale joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Joe, the Blues have won 5 consecutive road games. You played in the NHL. Carey, you played in the NFL. I still look at the mark of a good team. Just one aspect of it is the ability to win on the road. Joe, can you speak to this? How difficult is it to win on the road? The 2019 Blues team did it very well, as we know. It turned out well. And now this year's Blues team has started to put together some good efforts on the road.
You know, I don't know if it's as difficult in hockey, Stalt, as it is in other sports. I've never played a different sport, obviously, so I don't know that. It'd probably be hard for Carey to compare it to the NHL because he's never played in the NHL. But I know for, like, the NFL, from being in those buildings, there's certainly an energy. There's certainly a buzz. You know, I think baseball and hockey maybe are the closest as far as how similar they are. You know, these buildings have changed a lot. Like, we're here in Toronto right now. I mean, they're expensive tickets. They're not necessarily the rowdy bunch, like I would say, where home ice is really, I think, an advantage anymore. I think even talk to some players. I think most players are so mentally strong and mentally tough nowadays where they've actually said that they actually internalize the loud noise and the energy you feel on the road. They actually internalize it like it's their own. And I think these players are strong enough mentally to really actually flip the script on it. And that's why you're seeing a lot of teams having a ton of success on the road. I think really the one building that I think is a little bit intimidating these days, I would say, is probably the Las Vegas Golden Knights when they play T-Mobile in Las Vegas. I think from their winning culture they have, I think they play fast, they play heavy, their crowd's behind them. But aside from that, I look at the road as really not a disadvantage or an advantage anymore. You know, in a lot of ways, I think it's actually an advantage for players. And what I mean by that is, you know, a lot of these guys have wives and kids and family, you know, obligations and responsibilities. And when you're home, you're obviously splitting some of that, you know, and you go on the road, it's very different. I mean, they've been on the road for the last 5 days. This is their 3rd game, and then they're coming home tonight. But it's pretty just routine. Hotel, team meals as a group, get a good night's sleep, wake up, morning skate, team meal, take a good nap, no real distractions. And I hate to say the kids and family are a distraction because they're absolutely not a distraction, but it's definitely just another layer of responsibility you have at home. So I think that's where a lot of times now you really start to see more and more that the road could actually be an advantage, and I think certainly for St. Louis it's been that way.
Joey, the Blues are winners of 7 of the last 8. Do you have anything, a couple of things that you can point to and say this is why they are playing well right now?
Well, I mean, 2 things right away. I mean, number one, the obvious one is they're getting incredible goaltending. I mean, top to bottom, Joel Hofer and Jordan Bennington have been exceptional, night in, night out, very consistently. So that's just, let's just call a spade, and there it is. The second thing I would say, Carey, the very important thing is the power play has been exceptional too. You know, this was the biggest area of concern under Berube. I think they were clicking at 8% under Craig Berube. He ends up losing his job. Drew Bannister comes in. And what did he do? He established a much simpler power play. You look at all the power play goals they're scoring as of late. The majority of them are actually broken plays, just getting pucks to the net. You look at Jake Neighbors 2 games ago in Buffalo. It's a pass from Robert Thomas through the middle. It gets picked off, gets bounced up in the air, and all of a sudden Jake Neighbors is Johnny on the spot, taps it in. The other night, one of the power play goals that I liked the best was Robert Thomas from the top of the key. He just throws it there. There's 3 bodies around the net. Jordan Kyrou picks up a juicy rebound. So it's that simple approach, just throwing pucks to the net. They are really, in reality, getting a lot of really fortunate bounces. At some point in the season, that will dry up. You're not going to get as much luck. But they are riding a wave right now where they're getting really nice bounces on power play, a lot of goals off of broken plays in front of the net, off rebounds, off of bad passes, off deflected passes that are still just finding the back of the net because you're having presence there, which is important. So good goaltending, and this power play has been getting them a goal, 2 goals. The other night we saw 3 goals. So I think that, you know, you put those 2 things together, and that's really, to me, 2 of the things that really stand out about this team.
Joe, we'll let you go. I know you're going to get prepared for tonight's game. We appreciate your time, though, man. Enjoy.
All right, sounds good, boys. You guys have a great week and weekend, and we'll be talking next week.
All right, thanks, Joe. We'll see you, buddy. That's Joe Vitale. You'll hear him as part of the pregame show here on 101 ESPN, of course, during the game as well. Blues Radio Network, as the Blues and Maple Leafs, they drop the puck at 6 o'clock, but we got the pregame at 5 o'clock, which means we got to get to Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments, all coming at you next. Signs of low testosterone, low energy, no energy at all. In fact, sometimes lack of motivation, irritability. Maybe you're frustrated. You're not focusing. You don't have the same determination that you did when you were younger. You can either accept these things as it is and just say, okay, I'm not going to be at my best, or you can head down to Mentality. That's what Jamie Rivers and I did. We went down to Mentality because we believed that there was going to be some help available for us to correct a lot of those things. And we struggled before, which is, okay, all I have to do is do this and that. And no, sometimes we need help. I mean, as guys, as we grow older, the testosterone levels decrease. And when you're not feeling like you're at your peak performance, whether that is at home or in the office, then again, why don't you go out and get some help for it? If it's a medical issue, no problem. We've got help for you. Mentality is fantastic. Their people are great. They show you what the program is all about. First of all, they get a feel for what's going on. Then, they'll test your blood work, make sure that you are experiencing low testosterone, not something else. And then they'll get you on your program, and they constantly monitor your progress. They check in with you. They do other blood work to make sure that you're not experiencing, again, something else that's going on, and make sure that you are getting the results that you want. So head down to Mentality, 2 locations, Chesterfield and South County, or go to lowtusa.com. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. It's Mentality. Alex Ferrario is in our studios right now. He's getting ready for the pregame show for the Blues and the Maple Leafs. You'll hear him. You'll hear Chris Kerber, Joe Vitale, who we just got done talking to. So we're off a little early tonight here in the fast lane. Carey's pumped up about that.
Not excited about that at all. Gosh darn it.
Look at you. If you missed the 3-hour show today, you can download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app, all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. All right, let's bet the board. Carey, you're the only one that won last night. Nice job. All right.
Well, do we have a record? No, don't worry about it. I'm going LeBron James over 6.5 rebounds.
That was one you gave out earlier.
Yeah, I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
Good one.
Marsh, do we have the standings or no?
We do. Yes. Carey, I'm surprised you did not want to go over the standings because you're in first place, 4-3. Anthony, you're 3-4, tied with Jamie, who's also 3-4.
Where are you at, Marsh?
Well, I'm in last place.
What do you got, kid?
I'm 1-6.
Ooh.
What am I? You said 4-3 for me?
You are 4-3.
All right, so
I have lost 5 in a row.
Oh.
So if you want to tail me tonight, St. Louis, go ahead. Actually, no, don't tail me.
Yeah,
if you want to fade you.
Yes. So what did you take, LeBron?
LeBron over 6.5 is minus 130.
Okay.
Rebounds.
All right.
Not points, I wish.
I'm going to take, in Big 12 play, I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bearcats. They're laying 1.5 against Iowa State. It's one of these lines that don't make sense. You would think that the number 10 team in the nation would be favored, not an underdog on the road. Nonetheless, give me Cincinnati minus 1.5. And then for Jamie,
what'd you get?
Did he send you a pick?
He certainly did. He's taking the Anaheim Ducks over the Montreal Canadiens.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's got Columbus in Ottawa. He likes the Columbus Blue Jackets in Ottawa. Plus 164. He says the Blue Jackets have been struggling a little bit, but nonetheless, he still likes their ability to get done in Ottawa tonight.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Marsh,
That's what he picked. That's an odd pick.
Yeah. Well,
who am I to argue with the man that knows more hockey than I do?
Exactly. Yeah. Tough one last night with the Arizona Coyotes. Go ahead, Marsh.
I'm going to go with the Toronto Maple Leafs minus 1.5.
Oh, wow.
Really?
You know that, I mean, you could lose, the Maple Leafs could win by 1, and I know what you're doing. You're trying.
I can't take the money line, though. It says minus 225.
Let's see what he's doing, though. He's been Kiefer struggling.
You could have went over the 6.5. Over.
Yeah, that still doesn't produce a win, though.
Right.
Could be
I see what you're trying to do,
Could be a
Marsh.
6-1 game.
It's probably going to be 4-3.
It will be. It'll be 3-2. If I would have take the over, that wouldn't hit. And yeah, it'll be a 1-goal game, and we'll still lose. And I'm the biggest loser of them all.
Well, good luck there, Marsh. All right, so let's bet the board. What do we got for criticisms and compliments?
We got something about mushrooms on pizza from Hockey Bob. Hey, Stalter, just bought a pizza from Blarney Stone. Great pizza. Mine has mushrooms because they are healthy. And we established earlier today that we don't like mushrooms on pizza.
It's a fungi.
Hockey Bob and I don't see eye to eye like on anything.
You should shut your mouth, Anthony.
Hockey Bob was the one.
Stalter.
Why should I shut my mouth?
Because Hockey Bob is a great guy.
How's he a great guy?
He just has a great name.
Ultra critical, and he lost to me in the Gauntlet.
And Hockey Bob was the one that said that Anthony should agree with everything you said because Anthony did not play in the NFL.
Well, then that's why
right.
There you go. Clearly, I'm a Hockey Bob fan.
No, Hockey Bob, I like you. I don't think you and I have anything in common, but I like you, man. You're a good kid.
Yeah, everyone in the snake pit is saying to fade me.
Oh, sorry, Marsh.
No, Marsh. You've had some trouble.
But you know what? Nobody's safe in the fast lane.
Nobody's safe. I understand that. I get that.
Yeah.
Also, where is this? Yep, I lost it. Hang on.
That's Marshall.
I found it. Okay.
There we go.
So we're talking about here for a good time, not a long time. We had some people text in saying who it was. It was George Strait. He said that. There was another person that said it as well, but it looks like the text line went away. Alan Jackson. Good time. Maybe Drake said it. That's what I said. I have no idea.
Sounds like a lot of people have said it. And Carey said it recently.
The 618 says Pitbull said it. I'll take their word for it. Mr. Worldwide.
It makes sense.
Obviously.
I don't know a whole ton about Pitbull, but it makes sense.
You don't need to know much.
Okay.
He's a great performer. Miami. That's all that matters.
All right.
Yeah.
People did not like Carey talking about launch angle.
You got
Others did, though.
What are you talking? 35 to 45 degrees. Otherwise,
I think you had to be watching
back to
via the Air Comfort Service or via the Airlines Team YouTube channel and the Snake Pit.
Everyone should
to appreciate Carey's rant on launch angle.
Yes.
You needed the visual on that, not just
something
what he was
about
saying.
These glasses that make me and Marsh just see rose-colored Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. You see everything that the Cardinals do. Everything you find praise in everything they say.
Whoa, see?
Okay.
Whoa.
What do you got, Marsh?
The Cardinals are going to have a great season this year as they win the National League Central.
Why did you go 1940s announcer?
Paul Goldschmidt rebounds as he is a top 3 MVP candidate. And Nolan Arenado goes back to being one of the best third basemen in the game, winning another Gold Glove.
It reminds me...
Jordan Walker has a great sophomore campaign as Mason Winn wins the Rookie of the Year.
You doing that reminds me of League of Their Own. Look at these girls. They're playing baseball. The old-timey announcer. Nice work there, Mark.
Sonny Gray ends the year in the top 5 for the Cy Young candidate.
I like it.
Oh, boy.
And Lance Lynn has an all-time season with the Cardinals.
Is that it? Just
top 6, not 5, in the most hits given up.
You're wearing the glasses. You can't say that.
Yeah, we're getting better.
It got better.
No, Lance Lynn's going to have a great year.
Yeah.
Man.
I missed that.
Felt like
that
Jim Carey with those things on.
Keep getting gooder.
Keep getting gooder.
Are you guys ready for the 3 stars of the day?
Yes.
All right, let's start off with our 3rd star of the day. This thing was giving you fits just a few minutes ago, Anthony. Anthony's microphone. Congratulations.
Alex.
Well done.
We came back from a break, and I, went to adjust the mic. It broke off in my hand.
Oh, that happens to you too, huh?
Yeah.
You had it too?
Oh, yeah.
Alex,
I've had this thing break off on me.
I'm glad you're here, because I do have a question.
Yeah, please.
You're the only one that sits in that chair.
Yeah.
And that concerns me. It's kind of an electric chair vibe. A little bit. Has no rails, no handles.
What I like about this
It's a little hard.
CD is I like to put my hands on it, and there's nuts that are sticking out of it. And it just puts an indent on your palms.
Okay.
Wow.
Like pain every once in a while.
I wasn't expecting you to say anything remotely like that.
Well, nuts and bolts is what I meant. Like the screws.
The screws
The tool nuts, not those. Come on, guys. Get your head out of the gutter.
Interesting. Well, speaking of...
Do you know what show this is?
Yeah, that's why I said it.
Speaking of body parts, our 2nd star of the day goes to Josh Ennis's nipples.
Yeah, okay, Josh.
I guess he put electrical
He's in the balloon party, and he shared the whole story of why he decided to flash everybody today.
Wait, he did flash people today.
Yeah.
We were wondering why that was popping up on the...
Yep.
I was wondering why both of your faces looked shocked when he was standing in here.
Josh is a real interesting cat.
It's kind of scary. Not in a scary
How
way,
he
but
thinks.
scary.
And if Carey was saying that,
You don't know what he's going to
You
do.
don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. Like, what are you thinking? Never mind.
All right. Buckle up. Our final 1st star of the day goes to Moonlight Graham.
Moonlight Graham.
Oh,
There
yes.
we go. Moonlight Graham.
Not Rose. But
No,
Moonlight Graham.
hell no. No, Moonlight Graham, the only one that stepped up and actually saved that little girl, as her parents and everybody else just standing around looking at her. What's wrong, honey? Well, she's choking on a hot dog. She fell off the back of the bleachers. Nobody stepped up but Moonlight Graham, the freaking ghost. Despicable. We got Blues pregame coming at you. Alice Fryer, it's going to take over. See ya.